waited for an hour or two. The voted past, the bill went through, and this is where it seems we need to start. Depending on the choice you made, I promise not to be afraid, and let others decide what's best for you. You broke, yeah, now you won, yeah. You broke, yeah, now you won, yeah. So long, good friend, this is the end. I know it's harder than before. Unscathed by this, I only wish we saw behind the door. Now it seems the time sits still. Their remedies just made you ill, and all you have to show is everything. So pack the bags inside your mind and take what you can't leave behind, and know you did all that you could do. You broke, yeah, now you won, yeah. You broke, yeah, now you won, yeah. So long, good friend, this is the end. I know it's harder than before. Unscathed by this, I only wish we saw behind the door. All the water across the fire, would it have been enough for you? You would have walked across the fire. Would it have been enough for you? Good friend, this is the end. I know it's harder than before. Unscathed by this, I only wish we saw behind the door. So long, good friend, this is the end. I know it's harder than before. Unscathed by this, I only wish we saw behind the door.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Got smart butt LT in here already today. Here we go. Live on a Friday.
Smart butt. Not a smart bunt.
Yeah.
We didn't lay down. We're not trying to move the runners over just yet, Rockstar.
Brownie's back. We'll tell you about his journey coming up maybe here in this opening segment. Rockstar in the lounge. You just heard a little Rockstar leading off the replay into the live show here.
Your best original song right there. Somebody said that. Krusty says that in the chat room, and I agree. That's my favorite one you've done.
Which one was it? I got to hear zero of it.
That was the end. The first one I wrote on that.
Cavity?
No, the end. Cavity was 9th grade. I haven't heard Cavity in a long time.
Needle? Was it Needle?
That's the Seven Mary 3 song.
Yeah, every time.
Yep.
That was also Arya's sword in Game of Thrones.
No, I like the end, though. It's got a little cello in it. It's a very...
Les and I did everything on that. It took forever.
Cool drums, little cello.
I didn't hear it, man.
I didn't either.
I bet it was great.
We were talking.
Well, it's on my phone.
Available on Spotify.
You can listen anytime.
Yeah.
Apple Music.
First
I got it on
down,
Apple
what's
Music.
going to be better, today's show or Rockstar's cover there?
Rockstar's cover is undefeated. We get him in the Flora-Bama lounge coming up at the end of the show later on. Rhett Lashlee, Todd Fuhrman, 9:45 for the SMU coach today, and Todd Fuhrman at 10.
I was thinking about covers over the weekend, Rockstar. It's our
Blankets?
Earlier this week, because I think I've determined what the best cover of all time is.
Oh, good. You came up with it. What is that?
I did. Well, and it just jumped. It popped up. I don't know why it popped up in my Apple Music, but I am convinced the single best cover of all time is Heart. I guess it was Nancy Wilson. I don't know that it was actually all Heart.
You've lost me already.
Don't
You didn't
say
like Nancy
Stairway to
Wilson?
Heaven.
Yes.
No, I mean Heart.
Absolutely, 100% best cover of all time was Nancy Wilson covering Stairway to Heaven.
The cover's got to be better than the original.
No, I don't think so.
I think to be the best cover of all time, how does it not?
Well, that's not the way I would look at it. I think a cover is a song that is true to the original and is close enough to the original. You're like, man, I like that almost as much as the original.
Okay, you guys know I'm bad with names and song titles.
Stairway to Heaven's Led Zeppelin.
No, I understand this,
Okay.
and I've not heard the hard cover of that. I cannot imagine it being better than
It was at the Kennedy Center Honors.
Yeah, it's
with,
different. It's
Jimmy
different.
Page and Robert Plant. So Hart, Nancy and Ann Wilson used to have a Led Zeppelin cover band before they were Hart. They would do all these covers. So they're from Seattle, and they would do. She's amazing, and she can still do it to this day. And they're touring right now, actually, to be able to sing. I mean, you can't have all of it, but she still is one of the most amazing singers, and it's great. It made Robert Plant tear up.
I mean, Robert Plant is crying. I'm like, that's a pretty good cover. And Jason Bonham, I mean, it's got the emotion of Jason Bonham playing the drums on it.
By the way, his dad's birthday today.
John Bonham?
John Bonham.
How weird that I brought this up on his dad's birthday.
Yeah. Hey, look, full circle sometimes.
I know. Is that in trash?
It's 4 downs, but I did not put John Bonham in there. I might, though. I might.
Fifth
We
down.
can throw it out there.
Best cover of all time.
I just think to be the best cover of all time, it's got to be better than the original. Like I would say, like Adele's Love Song is better than The Cure's.
Well, all right, for instance,
no.
I think Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey is far better than George Jones's Tennessee Whiskey. I think Chris Stapleton sings it way better than
agree.
George Jones.
I would agree with that, but I think the live performance with Chris Stapleton and Justin Timberlake doing it at the Country Music Awards,
Yeah, it was really good.
The first time, I think it was better than when they do it when he does it
Solo.
separately.
Yeah.
God, who's the guy? This is the point I was getting to.
Yes.
He sings the cover, I think, of a Prince song.
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell.
Nothing compares to you.
No, I like that.
Nothing compares to you. I think that's better.
Oh,
Than
no.
Sinead
That's a
O'Connor.
great
Sinead
cover.
O'Connor's better.
No.
And I like Chris
No.
Cornell.
No.
I like him much better. Sinead O'Connor, it's the only thing she's ever done.
Well, I know. That
But
doesn't mean it's good.
That song is almost perfection.
Oh, I think Chris Cornell's is better than Sinead O'Connor's. I
Well,
would agree with that.
the
one.
best thing is the story behind, because my friend Brian Gibson plays cello or played cello with him, and he's on that cut on that Sirius XM recording. And asking him about it, he said Cornell just came up to us saying, "We're going to do Nothing Compares to You because I hear Prince hates people covering his song, so I want to cover a song." And like they said, "Okay, we'll just follow you." And like there was no rehearsal or anything. He just decided like we're promoting a new album, but I'm going to throw out because it's in front of a live audience. We're going to do this. And like, okay. So it's just cool, the spontaneity of Chris Cornell. It's like, today I'm going to do Nothing Compares to You.
Just to piss off Prince.
Yeah, it just nailed it.
And Chris Cornell just sits there with his legs crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Just
so
just
casual.
effortless.
Yeah, it is effortless.
But
And
like
it is fantastic.
he's great covering a lot of stuff. Like Patience is a great cover, but Guns N' Roses did it better.
Well, there's some
and
songs,
I like
though.
Chris Cornell,
Yeah.
not as much as Guns N' Roses. Close though.
But there are a lot of songs, though, you don't realize they're even a cover. I mean, it was done, 40 years ago, or somebody brings it back. Like, it was a while before I realized Tennessee Whiskey was a cover of a George Jones song.
So what's the name of the Italian band, like Manskin or something? They did a cover a couple of summers ago from like the 50s.
Sounds like one of our sponsors.
That's a spot I go to.
Tell them about Manskin, bro.
Their name's something like that. And I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Tyler, do you know back there what I'm talking about? This Italian band, they did a cover song. It was like top 5. But the first time I heard it, I was like, that's a pretty good song. But it was like from like a 50s doo-wop or something.
Yeah.
There's not four men in that group, is there?
No,
Manskin.
I think it actually is. Have you guys ever seen Heart in concert? Back to that.
Oh, I have not.
I have seen
Dunaway
Heart in
apparently is
concert.
not a fan.
I love Heart.
Well, you
it's
said
fine.
stop right there when I said Heart. You're like,
Look, indirectly, I
There's
saw
a
Heart.
Maniskin, or that's got an umlaut. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Medicine.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, Lunsford
yeah.
is a
They,
Medicine.
they did this song.
Is there a chance it's called
Begging?
Mainskin?
Could be.
M-A-N, main skin, or it could be Monet skin. I don't know.
Yeah. I really don't follow his
Go
stuff.
ahead.
Anyway, they had a really good cover. I didn't know it was a cover. But indirectly went to see a couple of concerts, and I've seen Heart open up. And they are as true to their studio recordings. Like Metallica's right there, but Heart is legit.
I agree. They opened for some band I saw, and they were really good.
Nancy
They were old-
Wilson's
and they were-
voice is
and they
incredible.
were old at this point too.
Yeah.
And they were still really, really
Yeah,
good.
Nancy Wilson could sing.
And they're still touring and still playing at that level, which is amazing. Because, when I saw Elton John, he was really good, but he couldn't hit those high notes.
Yeah.
We talked about this. I don't know if we were all together or not last week, but we're starting to get some covers of '90s songs that 90s music
Yep.
is my favorite decade of music. Like the Linger song that I thought was St. Vincent, but it was somebody else.
Cranberries.
I know, but the ones that are doing it now, and it's someone else. But there are some songs that are coming back that are really good. And this Kate Hudson has blown up. Her music is all over my TikTok now, and she's covering an old Cranberry song as well.
Why did she wait so late?
I don't know. She was doing other things.
I mean,
acting and
you would
stuff.
think it's Penny Lane in 1999 and Almost Famous. She would cash in on that.
Rockstar, do women, like almost every man loses his range? Anybody that sings high, do women not lose their range?
They do. It's
Mariah Carey has.
No.
Yeah, well, it's also how you take care of your voice.
Right.
It's how I take care of it. Like, I don't know how Phil Anselmo from Pantera, I mean, as much whiskey as he's drank from since 82 to now, and he's still screaming.
Because didn't the old Filipino boy lose his voice too? That was
Arnold
Journey.
Pineda?
Yeah.
No, he always told me. He told me that every morning he wakes up and makes sure you have to make sure you have a falsetto. If you still have a falsetto, you still have a voice.
Yeah, because I saw a video not long ago of Peter Cetera doing a concert, and I mean it's nowhere close.
And there's some
and he
people
has to
that have-
hide it.
Well, there's some people that have so much pride that won't do a lip sync or won't take it down
Yeah.
a key. And like Paul McCartney's almost 80 years old. He's still doing his stuff in the original key.
Yeah.
You know what I've
It's
started to
insane.
do? Here's a little life tip to people out there. If you can't find something to watch, go to YouTube and pull performances of great songs live.
Yeah.
It's so
No,
much
it
fun
is.
to do.
It is. I agree.
I watched Coldplay do a cover of "Don't Look Back in Anger." They were in London.
That's my
Really?
favorite
Yeah,
Oasis
That is
song.
my favorite
Coldplay
Oasis song.
did it
yeah.
with Ariana Grande, who was opening for them. But Ariana didn't really sing. But I got to see Ariana.
Oh, yeah, that's
while
a win.
watching
They did it.
Coldplay do "Don't
you
Look
just
Back in
stand here in
Anger."
front of the piano.
That's pretty much what she did.
Remember I think it was the London bombings, and they played their first soccer match after that, first large gathering.
Yeah.
I believe it was in London, and the guy came out on the guitar, and that's what he played.
Yeah.
To honor.
I like "Don't Look Back in Anger."
That's great, too.
That's my favorite Oasis song.
That's my favorite
Yeah.
Oasis song as well. All right, we're off and running in the chat room. Music, always a big topic here as we roll by, and we got a lot of football to get to, new contracts in the NFL. The regionals start today. In baseball, we get another update on Birmingham Southern, who plays at 3:45 today. National attention for them. Alabama softball goes down yesterday in Game 1 of the World Series. UCLA beats them 4-1. 2 out, bases loaded in the top of the 5th. Opportunity there for Alabama. Kenley Cahalan with a big hit, but only 1 runner scores, so it's 1-1 as you go late innings. Bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. Jordan Woolery hits a 3-run homer for UCLA, so UCLA beats Alabama 4-1. Elimination day in Oklahoma City. Alabama and Duke, 6 o'clock ESPN tonight. Winner stays alive, loser is 2 in barbecue, as they call it out in OKC. 2 in barbecue.
I've never heard that.
I like barbecue.
Yeah, so that's what's on slate today for Alabama as they battle Duke there. Last night, elimination in the NBA. We'll get to that, but let's start with the contract that happened for Brown's team yesterday actually. Jalen Waddle gets a contract extension. He was already set to make, I think it was $15.6 million in 2025 on the fifth-year option they pick up. They extend him by 3 years, giving Jalen Waddle $84.75 million in extension. Little T put together a graphic. That works out to $28 million a year for Jalen Waddle. And just look at these former Alabama receivers in the contracts that they've signed just this offseason. This is just this offseason. Devontae Smith, $25 million a year with an extension with the Eagles. Calvin Ridley, now with the Titans, $23 million a year. And Jerry Jeudy, now with the Browns, his new contract, $17.5 million a year. Those four former Alabama receivers getting new contracts this offseason, led by yesterday Jalen Waddle getting locked up by the Dolphins. This is huge for Miami.
Yeah, $84.75 million, $76 million guaranteed. That is going to be the fourth highest among NFL receivers on average. Look, well-deserved, and the thing for Jalen is he's a number 2.
I know.
And to get
well,
that kind of
he
money,
was going to be a number 1 somewhere.
which is a great situation. I'm sure he loves the market of Miami. He's got a really good quarterback in Tua.
He gets open a lot because Tyreek Hill's on the other side.
And that was what I was going to say, man.
Yep.
He doesn't have the pressure of being a number 1. He gets a lot of one-on-one coverage, and he's going to feast at that. Back to those 4 guys. If you guys could draft one of them, who would it be? Because it's 1 of 2 for me.
I mean, Waddle has been fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
think
Waddle
I
or
draft Waddle.
Devontae.
Yeah.
Devontae's really good.
Well,
good as well.
They're both part of an incredible duo. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith is an incredible duo, and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle's an incredible duo. So,
By the way, A.J. Brown, the highest paid wide receiver.
So you wonder if I ask both them to be outside that duo and just be a 1, what do they look like? I mean, they could tear it up. I don't know. But they both are in a really good spot.
I would say, and I do not mean this as a shot to Jalen Hurts, but
I agree. I know what you're going to say.
But if you had, just say, a generic QB1 elite passer, just say
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Let's say Kirk Cousins.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers in his prime.
Okay.
I mean, how much better could Devontae Smith be? Because apparently he great hands. Apparently he runs great routes.
1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns. I mean, that kind of season.
Well,
I mean,
that's the
he's
thing.
doing great things
Yeah.
with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback.
And of those 4 we just talked about, the best overall quarterback throwing to them is Tua. I mean, so that's the advantage Waddle has, is Tua's got the best quarterback throwing to him. So that you're right. I mean, that is a huge thing, obviously, at receiver in the NFL, much more so than college.
Saul Ruggs over there in the chat room right now.
Henry Ruggs,
And,
yeah.
Such an unfortunate situation there for everybody involved. But you just wonder how good Ruggs would be at this point. And going back to those guys, I mean, this has been the missing piece to Alabama's offense. They haven't had one of those guys in a while.
Yeah, and that's the big takeaway, right? You look at the talent that's come through. You're not Ruggs, who's in jail, but those 4 guys just this offseason, their contract extension. There are other receivers in there, and you look at the roster now. You just wonder, who the next guy is to come out of Alabama. Do they have that guy?
I think
Ryan Williams probably.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he's got the potential to be, it appears. I think it became the best overall Nick Saban position, wide receiver.
It's so hard to say.
It is hard to say, but I think you just look at those numbers right there. Amari Cooper is in that. Julio Jones is in that. I mean, there are a lot of guys that have played receiver there at Alabama that have gone on and have delivered in the NFL the way they did in college.
That's the key, Brand. That's what I was going to say. Great in college, but to go to the NFL and deliver, the quarterbacks, jury's still out a little bit on that. There's been some with some success, some that have not. Running backs, Derrick Henry's been very good.
I mean, really, quarterback, the only 2 that have had success as of now are Tua and Jalen Hurts.
Tua and Jalen, right?
I mean, McCarron can't make it in the NFL. Mac Jones is a backup now.
Elliott's right. DBs are pretty damn good.
They are. I would still put receiver in front of them, though. I mean, DBs, you've got, Pat Surtain and Marlon Humphrey are among the elite in the NFL. There's no doubt about
Fitzpatrick.
it. Minka's really, really good. Yeah. I mean, you've had some good DBs.
Yep. Diggs is locked down when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm. I would still go receiver
I wonder
in
what
front
the
of them.
best duo is considered right now.
In the NFL?
Yeah, because, Cooper
I'd
Kupp
go
and Puka are I mean, that's
It
a hell
is.
of a duca.
I think
a hell of a duo. Yeah, a duca.
I thought you I thought you were having a seizure or something when you did Duke and you were scratching your head.
Yeah, worried
I was
about it?
like, do we need to call medical help?
I've always thought, it's one
Because
of
the
those
betting
weird-
odds, I'm the one that's going to die on the air.
I
for a second.
know you've had this thought, but again, you're in a theater watching a movie and you're like, damn, is a shooter going to come in here? You're on a plane. Is the plane going to go down? I've thought, is one of us going to have a heart attack, seizure, something live on the air? So it's on video. So it's one of those, morbid knowledge. They send it out on Twitter, and one of us is.
Yeah. Well, Zach would tell
Flatlining.
us in the chat room, if Zach is listening, he would say you'd have a 25% better chance of that happening if you guys would add the fourth hour back.
That's true. That'd be more
Oh, yeah,
territory
yeah,
one of
yeah,
us could die on.
Zach would be like, if you add the fourth hour back, there'd be 25% more chance of Jim dying on the air and you guys going viral.
I would say, and you're not unbiased in this, and I'm not unbiased in this. I would say Hill Waddle is the best combo, but you can certainly make an argument for Kupp and Nakua.
I think
and AJ Brown and Devontae.
I think the most electrifying is definitely Hill and Waddle.
But some of that system, though.
Yeah. And the systems are so different between Mike McDaniel and Sean McVay. Great systems with both. Would I trade my guys? No, because they're guys that nobody believed in.
No,
you
you're
think
right.
About that.
You're right.
Puka in the 5th round, Cooper Kupp in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Anne Marie did our 4 downs when you both were out the other day.
Okay.
Our intern.
She
from
wrote them
Clemson.
or delivered them?
She delivered them and wrote them.
Oh, wow.
It was Puka's birthday. And I forget who it was that we compared to better.
I'm going to take Puka.
When it's all said and done, better. I think we joked about that.
George
better
Washington.
career, Puka Nakua, or
George Washington.
I forget who the other one was, but it was a good question.
You don't remember who it was?
I cannot remember. Forrester, do you remember who it was? Puka Nakua, or
No, he doesn't.
if Emily
Abe
Grace was here?
Lincoln?
Yeah.
Puka Nakua.
Tom Lunsford says Romadunze.
Oh, Roma Dunze. When it's all said and done, who will have
Better
a better
career?
Puka. Just because we've seen it. I mean, Puka was you couldn't cover the guy, and he's not even
for 1 year.
I know. We've seen it for 1 year. We haven't seen anything from Rome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, play. Yeah, we got to go at least let him play.
I'll bet you Puka has better numbers this year. And
He-
Puka is a injury risk. I mean, every game he's limping off. Now he stays in there and he comes back.
He's gutsy.
Yeah. There were some good questions that day, but we thought of you. It's like, LT's not here on Puka Nakua Day.
Yes.
Show being brought to you today by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. One more thing to get to in our opening segment. Rhett Lashlee, head coach of SMU, will join us today at 9:45. Greg from Pell City will join you on your roof. You don't have to get up there with him. He'll do it without you. He'll get up there for a free, no-cost roof inspection. Free, no-cost roof inspection. Storm Restoration Roofing. Call that number, 205-542-3531. 542-3531, and you can be a satisfied customer like that young lady on the right there of having a new roof from Storm Restoration Roofing. Or maybe he gets on the roof and says, hey, man, your roof is fine. You got 4 years, 5 more years left on this roof. Don't worry about it. If there's storm damage on your roof, Greg can handle that as well. Listen, it's good to get that roof inspected. One loose shingle can cause problems up there. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Insurance companies trust him. Locally owned for over 20 years. It's Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531. We closed out the NBA Western Conference Finals last night. 124-103, Mavericks eliminate the T-Wolves. And do you know, for the first time, this is according to The Athletic, the first time ever in the postseason of any sport, we get Dallas versus Boston, a Dallas versus Boston market team. And I started thinking, first I was going Cowboys, Patriots postseason.
Yep.
Would have to be the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we've never seen that one.
We've never seen
Yep.
that one.
Which is a little surprising.
Rangers, Red Sox.
Rangers, Red Sox in the
You
postseason.
can't see it, yeah.
I guess we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, I would have bet you've
Well, I guess
seen
you can see in the
Rangers.
postseason. You can't see it in the finals.
Not in the finals,
World
but you're
Series.
just saying any postseason?
Yeah, this is according to Athletic. No professional postseason have we seen Dallas versus Boston.
Well, I tell you what, I would have bet we've seen a Rangers Red Sox postseason series.
Especially if you go back to the Rusty Greer,
Yeah.
Pudge Rodriguez.
That's
Rangers.
surprising to me that you've never seen Rangers Red Sox. Those have been two pretty good AL franchises for, off and on for a while now.
Yeah.
And you got so many teams that make the playoffs now in baseball.
I mean, really a little surprising, the Dallas Stars, Boston Bruins, but I guess that would have to be the Stanley Cup Finals
It would
for
be,
that to
yeah.
happen because they're in separate conferences. But that's what we're going to get in the NBA now. In 6 days, coming up on Thursday, we'll get the Mavericks and the Celtics. The Celtics are heavy favorites in this thing.
Yeah, look, and I think the Mavericks, when you talk about the 1-2 punch, as good as Jaylen Brown has been, as good as Jason Tatum is, the best 1-2 punch right now is Luka and Kyrie. And Luka just absolutely went off last night. Lance's lock, I had the wrong side. I had the T-Wolves minus the 4.5. It went all the way up to 5.5. Felt great about that game. They tie it up at 18. I'm watching at a local restaurant sitting at the bar. They tie it up at 18, and then they go on a 19-1 run.
That'll get you beat.
And it was just over. I mean, they're up 36 at half, 29 at the half, up 36 in the third. And Luka erupts for 20 points in the first quarter, man.
Yeah,
it was just, they couldn't guard him. And I don't know what happened to the T-Wolves defense. Best statistical defense going into the postseason completely falls apart against the Mavs.
Yeah, Barkley said after the game that the T-Wolves were just content with that not being a sweep. The way they played, they looked like they were just content with that not being a sweep. That it was like, all right, guys, they didn't sweep us. Great season, everybody.
Yeah.
We didn't get swept.
But
Come back next year, do better.
That's right.
Embarrassing to go back home and have a little bit of momentum, because if you win that game, and I really thought Game 6 was going to come down to who wins the series, but the T-Wolves unable to follow up that Game 4 performance. Defense was awful, and I'm excited about this finals. I think Dallas has got a fighting shot because Boston, as good as they've been, they haven't won a championship in a long time. 2008 was the year, back before we were doing a show together. And they've been, like, numbers-wise, when you look at wins over the last 3 years, they've got more wins than anybody in the NBA, but they got nothing to show for it.
What's really crazy is Luka and Kylie and Tatum and Brown, they're almost identical on their stats on what they provide their team each night. Both those combos average scoring 51 points a game for each of their teams. Mavericks duo a little higher at 51.6. So really, it's almost going to be like 2-on-2 in this series. And who else can contribute? You may get Porzingis back for the Celtics. He's a former Maverick. There's a lot of storylines here when you start this coming up on Thursday night with the NBA Finals.
And I think those could be the keys, the bigs. Like if Porzingis is back, Derek Lively, the way he's playing, only 20 years old, he's been fantastic for the T-Wolves. So, one of these bigs could be the difference when you have all the focus on these great perimeter players.
When did you say Game 1 is?
Next Thursday night.
It's so dumb.
I just do not understand this.
6 days.
I know they got to lock in TV dates. I get that, arenas and things like that. But, man, how you don't have any flexibility in this. Like, how you can't start this thing Sunday night. I mean, what else
you can.
I mean, you would think you could, right?
And I think
Sunday
back in
night's
the
a
day,
good
of course,
sports TV night.
we used to have the NBA playoffs on tape delay.
Yeah.
But I think back in the day, they didn't have that like set in stone. They kind of let it be a little fluid.
It felt like we never got maybe the series just never were sweeps. I don't know, but it never felt like we had to wait this long.
Well, I mean, you got to adjust to the Masked Singer or whatever is being rerun on ABC to clear it up for the NBA Finals to start next Thursday.
I would bet our friend Charles Barkley will be in town all weekend just because he's got a little hiatus.
He's got 6 days. If I was him, I'd be on a beach somewhere.
I would be too.
Because he does stuff for NBA TV during the finals, I think.
He does.
I'd be on an island. I'll take it a little deeper.
A beach on an island
Yeah.
somewhere. I hope you're getting ready for a great weekend. Sit back. We got a lot to do. He mentioned Lance's Lock, lanceslock.com, brought to you every day by our friends at Hemphill.
Yeah, make sure that AC unit are ready to keep up with this changing weather. I have no idea what the weekend weather is going to be. You guys?
I have
anybody?
not looked
I
ahead.
don't have any golf on the schedule, so I haven't looked ahead yet.
I've got golf on the schedule this afternoon.
Well, I'm hoping it's good, though, because I'm thinking about going to the lake tomorrow. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you at Hemphill Services, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemphill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham's trusted since 1954.
Scattered thunderstorms, that's every day this time of year, though.
Yeah, TV time's announced everywhere. Everywhere yesterday. We'll waddle through it. Not waddle through it. That's Jalen Waddle's contract. We'll wade through it coming up on the other side on some of the ones we didn't know, talk about some of the TV announcements and how that's going, and a big announcement about the Southeastern Conference that I think will excite a lot of you. That is next right here on TNR, being brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. Well, we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, SEC news. I know, Brown, you've watched both of these series, Drive to Survive and Full Swing. There is a deal being reported by several outlets after the SEC meetings that the Southeastern Conference and Netflix have agreed on a series that will follow, a docu-series that will follow this season from the people who make Full Swing and Drive to Survive. They're gonna document this upcoming college football season with the SEC. Every team will be featured if they opt in. Seth Emerson of The Athletic says Georgia has yet to decide whether they're opting in or not. Obviously, I would say you want to opt in because it's going to be a great recruiting tool.
Unless you've already got a deal with another streaming agency to do one at your school.
Doesn't Alabama have one of those?
Jim, they could.
Yeah. Has
that been announced?
I'd heard rumblings that
Yes.
Alabama may have one of those.
I mean, that would be interesting, because before this got announced, there I think were some other schools that were talking with other streaming organizations about doing a behind-the-scenes type deal.
Seth sort of hints that maybe Georgia has that as
Yeah,
well.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I do think it's excellent recruiting. I do think it'll be excellent television if they're given access.
Would you opt into both? Or do you think there's...
I would imagine you couldn't contractually.
I'll tell you what would have been cool if they had the cameras rolling on Saban's final season and the transition to DeBoer.
Yeah.
Just to see how different the regimes are. Because it literally is night and day.
Yeah, if you just rolled the dice and thought, this could be his last season, let's see if Nick Saban... Now, I don't know. Saban might have allowed it. Because, again, it is about recruiting.
Well, remember, he had the HBO in-season thing going one year.
Yeah, and Saban probably would have allowed it if you just roll the dice. Now, you're probably going to have to give Saban or somebody close to him final cut on something like that. And I would imagine that's what the SEC has agreed to with Netflix. When you think is that they're these coaches will get final cut. or I'm going to be able to say, no, they're not in this meeting.
Yeah, these coaches way too powerful now.
And way too paranoid.
Back to the recruiting.
Yeah.
They don't want any negative thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would think if I'm Eli Drinkwitz, I'm like, yeah, this is great for us.
Opt in.
Yeah, I am absolutely in, but I am going to get to dictate which meetings they're allowed in. They're not going to be in every single meeting without us allowing it, right?
Brody says Georgia will not opt in because they don't want their players driving on camera.
Jeez.
They always do that shot of somebody riding down the road talking while they're doing it.
Yeah.
And it won't go well.
The camera guy's like, aren't we doing 95 right now?
Yeah, he's looking over, getting interviewed. And dude, if you'll notice the guy with headphones on, like weed eating on the side, and he'll walk into the street. And you're like, dude, if I look down, I hit you. My life, your life, both are over, and you're in my damn street.
I know.
Well, Michael says DeBoer basically is doing it already with all of his speaking engagements.
That's true. I love these behind the scenes type things. I could not.
So wait, CU Buff says Clark Lee will actually allow the Netflix crew to take snaps at Vanderbilt.
It's our scout team. Yeah. I have not been able to get bought into the PGA Tour one this year. I've heard it gets really good, but I've watched the first couple of episodes and it's just been, I hadn't gotten a lot of buy-in. I very much enjoyed the F1. It's so much so that I tried to watch one of their races, and the race was far more boring. Yeah. I mean, the behind the scenes was far better than the actual races. That was the best part of F1 was behind the scenes.
It's the way I feel like about Inside the NBA. I'm like, God, I love that show.
Yeah,
and I watch the NBA game, and I'm like, can we get to the fourth quarter already, please?
I mean, old school Hard Knocks. Like, I was uncomfortable by some of the meetings. Like, seeing a guy get cut was kind of uncomfortable. A guy's dream is getting squashed, and you just watch it.
Really the most intriguing part of the show.
It was the best part of it, but how uncomfortable
you fall in
were
love
you?
with one of these players that was just busting his ass, and you thought, man, this is one of the coach's favorites. And then the next thing you know, dude's walking in and
it's a brutal
him on
business.
The chopping block.
Yeah, it's a brutal business, and the guy shows up knowing he's probably about to get cut.
That was the most worst kept secret was the Bears are going to be the Hard Knocks featured team.
And that is announced. The Bears are the Hard Knocks team with Caleb Williams on the HBO season. They've got a front office one they're doing with the Patriots, right? That they announced. Wasn't it New England?
No, it's
the Jets.
It might be the Jets.
Might be the Jets.
I forgot.
A different one of those. So that's a little TV news there. We'll get to some games in a second and to what Brown did yesterday after LT tells us about Hydra Live.
Look, this is a great place to go this weekend if you're going to be getting out. Whether you're playing golf, you're going to the lake, having cold beer on the couch. You need to make sure you're hydrated. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. Boost that immune system with Hydra Live therapy as well. Hydra Live therapy, IV treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. Ask about memberships. Memberships, you recoup that membership fee in just one visit. Hydra Life Therapy, open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also, don't forget about the Tuscaloosa location. When you're in one of those locations, make sure you mention the next round, 20% off any of the great services from Hydra Life Therapy. For more information, hydralifetherapy.com.
All right. Later on, Rett Lashlee in the next segment, he will join us. Yesterday, Brown, you paid off your second place finish in the bracket challenge.
Yeah, I went to Bon Air, Georgia, which is near Warner Robins, just outside of Macon. And EG rode with me. She drew the short straw. She rode with me to video document everything. And we made a delivery of a hoodie and a couple T-shirts to Adam. He's the one that was randomly drawn. This is us, if you're watching us on video, showing up at Adam's house. As we pulled up, we saw some Alabama paraphernalia. So we're like, okay, the guy's an Alabama fan. Makes sense. Bon Air, Georgia. Why we've got a member of the audience there. He is actually from Moody, and his wife is from Leeds. So they grew up in the Metro Birmingham area. And because of her job, she told us they live down in Central Georgia there. And could not have been nicer people, man. Just could not have been nicer people.
Right, well-kept lot. You think she got on his ass, hey, next round's going to show up with cameras?
That's right, cut that grass.
Get your ass out there and cut the grass.
Trim those edges.
I did notice, too, by the way, edged along the sidewalk. That's key right there, good edging. So Adam walked out. That looks completely staged. It really was not. We just walked up and rang the doorbell, and he walks out, and his wife comes out. Fantastic people, could not be nicer people. Alabama natives, and big fans of the show. He says he watches every single day. And he has spread the good word down in Bon Air, Georgia, and has gotten some people watching us down there.
Shout out, Adam.
Yeah.
Bon Air, any good restaurants?
EG and I stopped in Macon. One of my favorites is right off I-75 in Macon right there, S&S Cafeteria. That is the legendary cafeteria there.
Is it a meat and three, I guess?
It is. Well, it's like Morrison's. You go through the steam line. And the EG got fried chicken, rutabagas. I got...
is that one of those trays you can knock somebody out with?
I got chopped sirloin, baked beans, sweet potato casserole, mac and cheese, peach cobbler, and a roll.
Oh, chopped sirloin sounds disgusting.
What's the difference between a rutabaga and a sweet potato?
What is disgusting about chopped sirloin? Chopped
Just
tastes good.
Look at it again.
Well, it was fantastic.
Yeah, what's the difference between a rutabaga and a sweet potato?
They're a different vegetable.
They look both orange.
They are both orange.
Well, pecan
Well,
pie is
so
kind
an
of
orange
orange.
fruit. So
I mean, Tennessee and Miami are both orange. They're different football teams, though. Yeah, I mean, rutabaga is just a different vegetable. It tastes different than sweet potato, too. It's got a different consistency.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
I've
looks
never
like
had
they
it.
fried the whole chicken.
That was a chicken breast, fried chicken breast. EG picked at it, too. I really wanted to pick it up and finish it, but I hated to be rude.
Yeah. Looks like you got more than she did.
He's a little bit bigger than EG.
I went meat and 3 plus dessert. Yep. EG went meat and 2. Now, she didn't get 2.
You are.
Two
I'll
rolls.
give you credit. You're one of the few people I know that gets dessert almost every lunch.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't say almost every lunch. It
Well,
is-
when you get the opportunity.
Yeah, given the opportunity in a place like that, I'm going to get dessert. I mean, that's going to be one of their specialties.
I did say yesterday on the show, Brown, I thought I saw a tear in your eye from our trip to the pharmacy because whoever was cooking that day had overcooked our burger.
Yeah, I told somebody, I've got a friend that's like, he's from Nashville, and he's like, oh, God, you took him away to the pharmacy. He hates everything. He's going to hate the pharmacy. And I was like, he was actually right this one time. He's rarely right about this stuff, but it was overcooked. I was like, he did like everything else about the burger, but the patty was overcooked. I agree with him on that.
That's
And,
what happened to me at Dino's. Have you ever been to Dino's?
I have not.
In Nashville?
No.
I've been wanting to go, and I finally went, and the fries were some of the best fries I've ever had.
Yeah.
But the burger was overcooked.
Yeah, it was just fine line right in there in that burger, and it was dry. I'm 100% with you, Donovan. Mine was too.
And I said on the air, it was not Brown's fault. It was a great place, great experience. And their pop-up one in the food hall on Broadway, I enjoyed that pharmacy burger when I had it. I will go back to the pharmacy and give the cook a second chance there.
Good.
I will tell you this. Rett Lashlee next. So let's go ahead and unveil our 40 and 40 team today. No surprise, but it's brought to you by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag.
Yeah, perhaps you've been there before. You've got that planned trip to a casino, and life happens and something falls through. Well, mybookie.ag brings the casino to your house. Truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, live dealer action, all for the comfort of your home. MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience with the action in your hands. You can start at mybookie.ag today and get a great sign-up bonus when you use code NEXTROUND. Code NEXTROUND gets you that sign-up bonus. They've also got the revamped loyalty program, exclusive VIP perks, all of that. The more you play, the more you win. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. I wonder who the team is.
I wonder who it is. Number 29. Oh, it's the Mustangs of SMU. They're
glad Rhett's
coaching the
on.
next segment. In at number 29, transition to the ACC. I can't wait to see what they look like in the ACC.
Well, and they've got a favorable schedule in the ACC. I think they are going to be favored in 10 games, and it's going to come down to a 2-game stretch. Florida State, Louisville, I'm not going to be surprised at all. If they somehow split those games, they could go 11-1.
Wow,
and
Lance.
play for the ACC championship. They could. You look at their production coming back. They've got 78% of their production coming back. That is 11th in the FBS. It's led by quarterback Preston Stone, who was really good. 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions last year. Should be better this year. You get a Georgia transfer and defensive tackle, Jonathan Jefferson. He wreaked havoc in the spring game. They're trying to build that defensive line to get ready for the ACC. But looking at this schedule, they're going to be favored in 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, and they host Florida State for what that is worth. Florida State, who's going to be the toughest game on their schedule in conference. They at least get to host that game.
Yeah, and
at
I think
Gerald
Florida
Ford
State
Stadium.
probably a slight favorite. But yeah, even the dog against Louisville and Florida State, they'll just be slight dogs. In
But
those
you're
games.
right. That 3-game stretch, big rivalry game for them with TCU. That's a big Dallas-Fort Worth rivalry.
Iron Skillet?
I believe they do play for the Iron Skillet. Florida State comes to Gerald Ford. That's back-to-back home games, and then they go to Louisville. That's it. That's their 3-game stretch right there that will probably determine their season.
Yep. And then after that, should be winnable games down the stretch. Before that, BYU could be tricky. So BYU, TCU, Florida State, Louisville right there at the start of the year.
I do think we've got them too low.
Yeah, I had them in my top 25.
Yeah, they finished in the top 25 last year with 11 wins. You know, from 7 wins to 11 wins in year 2 for Rett Lashlee. I think they're going to be better just based on schedule.
And as Forrester says, those uniforms there that you see on your screen are absolutely fire.
I don't like it when they go with the D on the helmet and they've got the pony on the helmet right there. They can do whatever they want with their jersey with the Dallas and all that. Just keep the pony on the helmet.
Yeah, did you guys notice when we were at the On3 event, they had hats for almost every program?
Yeah.
And they had the SMU hat with the pony.
Oh,
it was sweet.
good. That's one of my favorite uniforms.
Good looking hat. And we'll talk to Rett Lashlee, former Samford, former Auburn offensive coordinator, now head coach at SMU as they move to a power conference. And as Landmine Believer says, I'm glad to see SMU back in a power conference. Remember, they got left behind when the Southwest Conference broke up and became the Big 12. Here we go. Rhett Lashlee in the next segment. That's our 40 and 40 countdown today, brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag.
All those games we talked about, whether SMU's favored or not, you'll be able to play those at mybookie.ag. NBA Finals coming up, Major League Baseball. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Mybookie.ag. Don't forget code next round is your sign-on bonus at mybookie.ag. Code next round.
And Precision Sports Medicine keeps you in the game, gets you back to work if you pull something, tweak something, or broke something. I'm using Dr. Patterson, the fine folks at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics in Alabaster right now. 205-512-3885. They help you with the diagnosis, the treatment, and then sets up the physical therapy to get you back to 100%. You can get details at precisionsportsortho.com/2024, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Part of the fine Brookwood Baptist Health System there, our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Locations from Jasper to Alabaster and all over the Birmingham metro area. Orthopedic care better together with our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Alabama softball trying to stay alive tonight, 6 o'clock ESPN, Alabama and Duke. Birmingham Southern baseball, 3:45 today, 168 years the school existed. Today's its last day. May 31st, last day for Birmingham Southern. School shuts down. Baseball teams up in Ohio, and thanks to a GoFundMe account that raised over $104,000 that's helping pay the expenses that the NCAA is not paying for the Division III trip there. Birmingham Southern plays at 3:45 today. A double elimination tournament. Only 8 teams remain. They're trying to go out on top. And yes, there is a film crew there documenting their final moments as a school.
Film crews everywhere now, aren't they?
They're
It seems like every time we bring it up, there's a film crew there.
Speaking of which, before you tell us about New York Butcher LT, coming soon, we'll give you a release date shortly, but you had an interesting conversation yesterday, part of your last call.
Yeah, last call. We've interviewed some really interesting people, from Charles Barkley to TJ Miller to our friend Clay Travis, where we have a sit down, kind of a all access, have a couple of cocktails and kind of a tell-all. And Kristen Saban, Nick Saban's daughter, came in to our green room yesterday. We had a nice conversation. I think it was 32 minutes and change, right, Forrester? So he's going to get that edited up, and we'll get it out, and looking forward to that. But she was great, man.
Yeah.
I'd never spent any time with Kristen, and I thought she was really cool and laid back, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Can't wait to see that coming up.
All right, we unveiled our team in our 40 and 40. We are previewing the Ponies today. The Mustangs of SMU out in Dallas. Their head coach, Rett Lashlee, joins us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Welcome in, Coach. Hope you're doing well today.
Doing well. How are y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. I suppose at some point I'll get used to referring to you as an ACC school, but I'm not quite there yet. I know it's a pretty cool time in your program's history going to the ACC.
Yeah, it is. We're trying to get used to it ourselves. All happening pretty fast. Usually you get schools change conferences. They have about 2 or 3 years to get ready for it. We've had 10 months, and I guess officially on July 1st we're a new member of the ACC and excited about the schedule and just our program has a rich history. A lot of schools that have made the jump in the last 10, 15 years were making the jump for the first time. Our school was a power in the Southwest Conference for many years, and so from our fan base to our school and in our city, we just kind of feel like we're back on the stage that we feel like we can belong, and we're excited to be a part of a great league.
Most programs, when they go from a Group 5 to a Power 5, it takes a little bit of a transition, but we were previewing your team in the last segment, and I said, not to put extra pressure on you, I would assume, though, that the expectation is you guys can actually make noise this year and possibly play for an ACC championship. I would assume that's your goals with what you've got coming back production-wise.
Well, it's definitely our goals, but you're not supposed to say those things. You're supposed to say, "Oh man, if they can win 2 or 3 games, that'll be a good first year." To your point, yes, it's a jump. It's moving up in weight class for a good analogy. But we proved last year. We went on the road to Oklahoma and had a chance to win in the fourth quarter, and we've beaten TCU and we've won games. Our school in the last 5 years we've won more games than any school in the state of Texas, any Division I school. We won a championship, all that. But playing 2 or 3 power opponents a year versus 10 is a difference, right? And it's the week in, week out, the physicality, the depth, and how quickly can we get acclimated to that. You saw the 4 schools that went into the Big 12 last year. I mean, not one of them had a winning record, and UCF at 6 and 7 is the only one that went to a bowl game. So there's definitely a transition. We got to be realistic about that. At the same time, our expectations, we've been doing everything we can to put a team together that can come in and compete, and that's our goal every year. And now we just want to be Roy Jones Jr. and try to win it in another weight class. So,
listen,
hey, the cool thing is we're defending champs. I just don't know what we're defending.
That's a good point.
Very true.
That's right. That's right. You and Florida State, 2 defending champs in one conference there.
And that's our first conference game. We play each other, so I don't know.
And that'll be there in Dallas. It'll be a lot of fun. I used to I used to sit right next to Lauren. We used to share the same person that would cut our hair. I obviously don't need that anymore. Back when you were at Samford, so we wouldn't share that anymore if you were still here in Birmingham. But from Samford to everywhere you've stopped as an offensive coordinator to being a head coach, I've always liked your joy of being where your feet are. Can you tell me something you like about being a head coach that was better than when you were an offensive coordinator? Like, do you still call your own plays? Do you enjoy that, or do you occasionally miss just being the OC guy?
That's a great question. I do still call the plays, or at least I have the first 2 years, and I will this year. It's different. You think, hey, I've been an OC for 12 years. Maybe I led a staff of 10 to 12 people and coached 50 of the guys on the team, and hey, being a head coach is just doubling that, right? No, it's different. But, I think the thing that's probably nice is, on one hand, you don't have to ask permission to do things. But at the same time, there's a lot of people looking at you. I enjoy it. I enjoy being with our staff, whether it was as a coordinator or the head coach. And there's more responsibility. But I got great coaches, and I got a great staff of people that make my job easy. They're the ones who do a lot of the work. They're the ones who deserve the credit for the success we've been able to have, and hopefully the success we'll continue to have. Now the part that you did say about, kind of the old be where your feet are saying, like, I was actually at Samford in 2011. Pat Sullivan hired me when I was 27 to be the OC at Samford. He had no business doing it. I have no idea why he did it, and I'm thankful he did it. And I remember, getting that job, and at 27, it's almost like being a young kid again. You just know everything, right? And so I go through the spring, and man, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and I'm going to win, and then I'm going to move up here and here. And I went through spring ball and real quick realized this coaching thing's kind of hard. And so I remember sitting in my office in June by myself and just being like, wow, how cool is this? You're 27. Our twin boys, who are 13 now, were just a year old, not even a year old. We were living in Birmingham, working for a guy like Pat Sullivan, who's just incredible. And I just remember thinking, man, how cool is this? You're getting to call plays. Just, man, enjoy it. Because if you don't do a good job where you are, the next whatever is not going to happen anyways. And I don't know. Fortunately, that day, God gave me a mental shift that's allowed me to just really enjoy every stop of our journey. And my wife's been the same. And we're just kind of grateful for where we are. And it's allowed us to really have some good experiences.
From Pat Sullivan to Gus Malzahn, how difficult is it to be an offensive coordinator when you've got an offensive head coach where if the offense is crushing it, the head coach gets credit, but if the offense struggles, the offense coordinator takes the blunt of the blame?
Correct. And I got Casey Woods, who was at UAB, who's doing that for me now. He knows that all the plays that work, I called, and all the ones that don't work, he called. It's just kind of how it works. And I had great training with Gus doing that for a long time. Everyone's been different. Gus, obviously very involved. Probably half the time I was his coordinator, he called it, and then half the time I did. But then I worked for Pat Sullivan, and I worked for Sonny Dykes, and two offensive guys that I ran it, and they didn't have anything to do with it. They didn't come in there and sit in meetings or say do this and do that. I mean, they were the head coach. They set the standard on everything, but they let me run it. And so, I think as a coach, you want that responsibility and that opportunity. But hey, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. And when you're the OC, it's your job to honor and support the head coach and try to do that the best I could with whichever scenario it was.
SMU coach Rett Lashlee with us for a few more moments on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I love everything about SMU. I'm going to be on your campus, in fact, in a few days. I love your campus.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I love the spot where it is in the Highland Park area. I wanted my daughter to go to SMU. She did not. That was going to be a long trip for her. She chose not to do that, but I wanted her to go there. I encouraged her to go there. The thing I love most, though, are those uniforms. Y'all have got the best uniform in college football. Do you have a
really? Okay.
Yeah, I think you
Let's
do.
go.
I think you do. Do you have a particular favorite of one of the uniforms you wear?
Man, I don't have a favorite. I love our traditional blue SMU with the pony. I love our all white with the pony. Now, our players, I'm wearing a black hat, the blue triple D. My first year, we brought one time a year we wear a black alternate uniform, and that's the ones they love.
Very Mavericks-like as well.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Mavs.
Win in Dallas. I mean, look, there's something. The Rangers won a championship. We won a championship. The Mavs are in the finals. Stars are trying to get there. A lot of good things going on around here right now. But we will have kind of a teaser. We'll actually have a new uniform this year. It's very traditional, but we're going to add another, kind of go back to a uniform style that's been worn here before, but it hadn't been in a while. So, yeah, I mean, we like to mix it up enough where our guys enjoy it. It's good for recruiting. It's good for morale. At the same time, I've always believed when you turn the TV on, if you don't know who's playing, you've gone too far with the uniforms. And so that's the balance we try to walk.
Speaking of uniforms, in your shadow box behind you, right at 12 o'clock, that is the best jersey in the history of jerseys. The Rams away jersey back in the day. I'm a huge Rams guy. Eric Dickerson, you need to work on the Rams logo in the bottom right there. That was
the new school logo. I'm with you. Yeah.
But I heard your boys, you mentioned your twin boys. I heard they've got over 100 NFL jerseys combined. Is that true?
Really? Where'd you hear that? 100?
Yeah. I saw it in an old interview with you. They've got a lot of former NFL quarterback jerseys that they wear all the time.
Yeah, 100 may seem high, but I don't know. I've not counted. They do. They've got quite a collection. They like the jerseys. I don't know. Now you got me interested. I may go count them.
Yeah.
You haven't been looking at that Amex your wife's been running up.
No, I've learned. Don't look. What you don't know doesn't upset you. So as long as I can go and I can get a bottle of water or something to eat, I don't ask questions.
I got a video that I recorded you walking off the field in Pasadena in 2013 season. That loss at Auburn, and we tapped you in our show back then. You were going to be a future head coach. We just thought the world of you. Does a loss like that still hang on your heart sometimes?
Oh yeah, you don't remember the wins. You remember those. I remember I won a state championship 9th, 10th, and 12th grade in high school, and I remember losing in the overtime in the championship game my junior year more than those other three. And yeah, we won it in 10 with Cam Newton, but that one hurt. Obviously, we lost it in the last 13 seconds. And I don't know what you have, but my boys were about 3 then, and I remember them being down. They didn't even know why, but they were crying, And so, yeah, I mean, but that's what's so great about our sport and our game. It's life. It allows you to live the ups, the downs, the all in between, and all the different emotions you get to experience. And for every time you've had your heart broken like that, you've also been there for a kick six. And so, yeah, but definitely you think about the misses definitely more than the wins.
So 15 years ago, you got out of coaching for a couple of years. You started a magazine with your brother in Arkansas. I would assume coaching easier than magazine business right now?
Right now, I don't know, man. I don't know as a coach right now. We don't have enough shows to talk about that. No, I got a chance to GA at Arkansas in 2006 with Gus and Houston Nutt was the head coach, who were my college and high school coaches. And then, I was going to Tulsa with Gus the next year. Long story short, I chose not to, and then realized I got to do something. And so for about 22 months, I was out of coaching and had to get into this real world. It took me about 6 months to realize, okay, I guess coaching's all I can do, so I need to find a way to get back in there.
Well, Coach, we wish you all the best. Good catching up with you again. We appreciate you making some time for us and what is always a busy summer for coaches.
It's great. Appreciate y'all having me on. Make sure y'all temper the expectations just a little bit more than you're doing right now.
11-1. 11-1.
Thank you for that.
Our viewers have you at 29, 94 viewers who voted on our ranking, so that's under. We all have you higher than that.
Yeah, I had you top 2
They knew not to put us in the top 25, so tell them thank you.
Sandbagging.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, that is Rett Lashlee, the SMU head coach, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
He said it without saying it.
What?
The Gus Malzahn.
Oh, yeah. No, he brought it up himself.
Yeah. And then he goes back and he follows it up with Sonny Dykes.
Yeah.
Let me do what I needed to do.
I think he and Gus I don't think there's a broken relationship there, but I think, he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I think we pull that back in a little bit, just that one little part. I think it's interesting.
Well, I think I do a pretty good job broadcasting. You think you do a good job. You do a good job. If one of us is in charge, we're going to think we do it the right way better than anyone else.
Sure,
right?
But we all do it differently too.
We do, and then sometimes we sit back and you call the plays, and then we do these specialty shows on Thursday night, and Brown calls the plays, and I sit there all the time going, in my head, I'm like, I wouldn't have gone in that direction. I would have gone a different direction.
I don't really think that. But
I'm just saying, calling plays, you always have your way of doing it. I would imagine if you're Gus Malzahn and Rhett's calling the plays, you'd be like,
But here's the frustrating thing.
I would have passed
Gus
there.
says he's got full autonomy, He's calling the plays. I'm stepping away from that. That was what was frustrating for Auburn fans.
It just became too big of a storyline. No matter who was calling the plays, the fact that every single game it felt like it came up, it just became too big of a storyline.
Well, it continued with Chip Lindsey and everyone.
That was only because the offense was struggling.
It was a Gus Malzahn thing, it seems to be.
I mean, if they were scoring 48 a game, nobody would have cared who's calling the plays. Not one person cares.
And I will tell you, Hugh Freeze did a little bit of that last year. And this year he's going to be calling plays, I believe.
Well, right? I would assume. I mean, you don't want this to be a storyline. He has said he is, but you don't want it to be like, hey, who was calling plays?
You just don't want it to be. You don't want it to be throughout the process of, hey, we're struggling. I'm going to give up play calling. Now we're going to let so-and-so call the plays. And then, 6 games into the season, now I'm going to call plays again like it was last year. It seemed like Hugh did a little bit of that last year. It becomes frustrating at that point, right?
Yeah, and I don't have a problem. Like if a head coach is going to call plays, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, they've got offensive coordinators, but those guys help them get ready for games, and they'll throw their 2 cents in. I just hate when a head coach basically will take the credit when they're winning, and when they're struggling, everything gets blamed on the OC.
No struggles at New York Butcher Shop. I got one of those Boston butts over the weekend, the holiday weekend. It was fantastic from Jim and the gang there. They'll take care of you this weekend as well.
Yeah, Maddie had some friends over when we were doing trivia on Wednesday night. She went and picked up smash burgers from the New York Butcher Shop. Probably going to pick up some for myself tonight. You can pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you. Don't forget about the huge deli sandwiches if you're looking for a big-time lunch today. They've got a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations to serve you. Highway 119 in Greystone, Cahaba Heights. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Follow LT on Twitter @TheLanceTaylor.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
TV announcements yesterday. We'll get to that coming up after Fuhrman, who joins us now. This hour of the show being brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA. As you progress in life as men from age 20 to 30, things you start to worry about, become concerned with your health. 30 to 40, 40 to 50, it just grows and grows throughout life. Stay on top of all your health issues with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. 16 locations throughout the great state of Alabama. Schedule an appointment today from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. It's our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com.
All right, let's go to Todd Fuhrman. BetTheBoardPodcast.com is the website. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. Fuhrman, what is up? How are you?
Doing very well, gentlemen, and big news, of course, this week for your beloved Alabama Crimson Tide on the hardwood, being able to retain Mark Sears in a very short number there for Alabama to win the national championship in hoops about 300-plus days from now.
We discussed that
number. What's that number right now in Vegas?
As low as 10-1 at some books at this point. I've seen prices at 18-1 before he made that announcement, but that now has them more or less the shortest shot on the board, even ahead of teams like Kansas and some of the perennial powers that are there. So all books will be a little bit different, but plenty of respect being paid to their future outlook.
You just said Alabama's the betting favorite to win the national championship in basketball.
Is that what you just told me? The betting favorite?
Depending on the shop, yep. I've seen them the shortest shot out there. I mean, UConn is the other team floating around there, but I've seen that number drift a little bit, although with the change in Donovan Clingan electing to return there, that number right in that 10 or 11 to 1 range. So very comparable in terms of the odds for those two programs, basically at 1 and 2.
Wow. I did not expect that.
But Fuhrman, like, you're not getting value there, in my opinion. Do you not agree with this SEC schedule coming up? You wait for a couple of losses. They're bound to happen. Once that happens, you can get a better number in season.
Oh, there's no chance I'd be tying up my money this far out here on June 1st for a national championship that won't get played until early April. So to your point, LT, if they struggle at all, if they lose 3 out of 4 games, that number can drift. I mean, if this number was 20-1 or 25-1, given the returning talent they have, I think you could make a compelling case. But at a number that short, you can do a lot better with your gambling bankroll over the next 6 to 8 months than tying up a price that should be available when the season starts right around Thanksgiving.
Boy, crap conference finals. And I don't know where you were last night. I loved the T-Wolves last night. And that number continued to drift up. And I saw it tick as high as 5.5. Felt really good until they tipped it off. And then it was nothing but Mavs. I thought the Mavs were going to win this series in 7 games. I had no idea they were going to dominate offensively against that T-Wolves defense. How surprised were you? And where is the series price sitting right now with Celtics Mavericks?
Give Dallas a ton of credit. There were a couple of those games where they needed to get a little bit of that late game variance. I mean, the first 2 games of the series at Minnesota decided by 1 possession. But you get a bounce here, you get a bounce there, and Luka, of course, hitting that iconic shot over Rudy Gobert more or less set the tone for them to dispatch the Timberwolves in that series in just 5 games. When you're looking at the dynamics now in the market, though, and still plenty of questions that the Celtics will have to answer given that their very soft road to get to the NBA Finals, they are pretty heavy favorites. More or less the consensus just north of $2, depending on where you look, anywhere from right around $2 to upwards of $2.20. You can take back anywhere from plus 190 to plus 170 on the underdog. My biggest thing is that Boston has had to hear about how they're fortunate to get here and how they haven't played their best basketball. And look, that's rightfully so, given that the Indiana Pacers had a 90% win probability in 3 out of those 4 games. But I actually think the Celtics will finally get over the hump here. Do I think you're stealing at $2? Probably not, but this is a team that's been power rated number 1. They come in extremely healthy. The big question about Kristaps Porzingis, and while we know Dallas has a couple of shot makers in Luka and Kyrie, I think Boston gives them a look offensively that the Mavericks had not had to contend with, at least getting through the Western Conference.
Todd Fuhrman, BetTheBoardPodcast.com, BetTheBoardPodcast.com, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter is where you follow him. He is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Do you have a value play for an MVP? I would imagine, obviously, the favorites are Luka and Jason Tatum. Do you have a value play, though?
For me, the only other player that I would probably look at, if we want to look at the quote-unquote running mates, if you thought the Mavericks could get there, these are the kind of games where Kyrie has been known to raise his level of play. And on the flip side, when we look at the Eastern Conference MVP, Jaylen Brown clearly gave Boston that true 1-2 scoring dynamic in play there. And I think those guys are a little bit undersold just because of the front runners there. So those would be the only other ways that I would go outside the box. I think the days of us winning a finals MVP with 125-1 ticket like we saw in Andre Iguodala are of the past. It is a star-driven league, and I can't see anybody other than that quartet of guys taking home the hardware.
Hey, where are the handles right now on the NBA playoffs compared to what you get day to day in Major League Baseball? Because we were talking about this huge layover. Game 1 is not until next Thursday night.
Yeah, baseball really takes a back seat on a lot of this stuff. The biggest thing that you'll see in Major League Baseball, quite frankly, especially out here, is that you get a ton of parlay action that is more or less Yankees to Dodgers on a nightly basis. So if those two teams are winning consistently, it's never a good situation for the house. But other than that, baseball, until you get to the playoffs, really doesn't move the needle for a lot of sports books. And you can understand why. It's just the grind of trying to identify some of the underdogs that are out there. And that's part of the reason that it's still the NBA Finals first and foremost. That will be the primary driver regardless of how long we have to wait until the final starts.
Post Ronald Acuna injury in baseball, Todd, where are the Braves right now in Vegas's eyes, in your eyes?
I think they'll have to answer some questions. The nice part about the Major League Baseball regular season is that a true marathon, and the Braves have been here before when it comes to dealing with a little bit of adversity. Now, do I like their prospects with as well as the Phillies are playing? Probably not, and that's part of the reason that we've seen the Braves odds drop to making them the third favorite amongst National League teams, behind the Dodgers, behind the Phillies, right around 8-1. The Spencer Strider injury added into the mix. So this is a Braves team that's not going to cry poverty by any stretch of the imagination, but it looks to be that much more daunting when you don't have your table setter and arguably one of your best players in baseball to anchor that lineup. But 8-1, not enough to get me involved, and we'll see how far the division price drops. The Phillies schedule has to get a little bit more difficult, given the incredible run that they've put together to this point in the season thus far.
I was about to ask you, Todd Fuhrman, the 39-win team, that's the two best records, the 39-win team you believe most in, the New York Yankees, the Philadelphia Phillies?
I believe in the Yankees a little more than I believe in the Phillies. And when you look at that Yankees team right now, Juan Soto has clearly taken to wearing pinstripes, unlike a lot of players have in the past. And you look at the dynamic numbers he's putting up. He's taking the pressure off of Aaron Judge to be the linchpin of that lineup. You look at the Yankees staff, and while I'm not sure it's going to be sustainable, that it feels like a little bit more in terms of wealth of riches, knowing that they haven't gotten any innings out of Garrett Cole yet. If he can return and be the ace at the top of the lineup, it goes a long way. But looking for Luis Gil to continue at the performance that he's been at, with a whip under 1 and ERA that's microscopic, I don't think that persists. But clearly the Yankees starting rotation that had questions to answer before the season has quickly become a strength, and it's one of those things that's tough to ignore, knowing that the Yankees can generate offense from a power standpoint as well as any team in the American League.
We've got multiple employees up here. Of our 12 full-time employees, multiple employees up here who are not alive the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup in their beloved sport of hockey. Edmonton Oilers, Dallas tonight, pivotal Game 5. And then Florida, who looks like they're about to finish off the Rangers. The Panthers have never won a Stanley Cup. If I go Panthers or Canadian team Edmonton being Stanley Cup champion, who's got the favorite?
For me, I'd be making a case for the Panthers. I have them opening up right around $1.40, $1.50 favorite if that's the Stanley Cup final that we see. You look at the Florida team, and they got a little bit of that scar tissue a season ago, just ran out of steam in the best-of-7 series against the Golden Knights. Sergei Bobrovsky is playing well, but Florida comes at you in waves, and I think when you look at this team, they're one of the few that can handle an injury here or there and still be just fine in terms of finding that first Stanley Cup in franchise history, but they don't want to let the Rangers off the mat. I just get the feeling that Florida has been unflappable this entire postseason and really believe they get the job done. They're my pick coming out of the Eastern Conference before the playoffs started, but I thought they'd meet the Dallas Stars in the final. Still a possibility that unfolds, but Edmonton feels like they have quite a bit of momentum as Dallas deals with a major injury potentially on the blue line and an absence of Chris Tanev for a pivotal Game 5.
One thing Fuhrman's good at it all. One thing he's really good at is NASCAR. If you are playing NASCAR fantasy or are looking to put a little action there at mybookie.ag on the upcoming races, Fuhrman is really good. BetTheBoardPodcast.com, BetTheBoardPodcast.com. Was there a reason they didn't finish that race? Because the rain had stopped, right? I know it was midnight, but still it was...
It's a great question and one that you can't really get answers for. In NASCAR circles, there was talk and finger-pointing from the drivers that it was a broadcast decision, that Fox didn't want to continue to carry the race into the wee hours of the morning on the East Coast. Fox has vehemently denied that they had anything to do with it, saying it was a NASCAR decision. But the timing of all of it was a little bit bizarre. It was a sellout crowd in Charlotte, and those race fans, knowing the holiday was the next day, would have stayed there until 4 or 5 in the morning. And it was only 2 years ago where we had a race that was delayed early on. I think Denny Hamlin did his post-race interview around 2 o'clock Eastern. So a little bit anticlimactic when you look at a crown jewel race. It's the longest race on the NASCAR schedule at 600 miles. And so I was disappointed that we didn't get to see that race play out on the track, knowing that it was getting drier than what we had seen earlier after about that 90-minute to 2-hour rain delay that interrupted things.
Yeah, but when the rain stops, it takes a while to get the track dry.
Well, I know, but I don't think they were expecting any more rain was the thing.
The length of that race. I saw Dale Jr. talk about this on his podcast, and he's usually very angry when they don't let the races end under green. And he said, I really couldn't blame him in this situation because the length of the race, getting fans home and things like that on the drive back. So it is a tough call. I wish every race would finish under green. That just sometimes can't happen.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, that NASCAR is kind of painted into the unenviable situation there. I was just surprised they kept the drivers as long as they did, figuring that, okay, we're going to go an hour, and if we don't see any potential silver lining to get this race completed, we're just going to let it go entirely. But that wasn't the case, and, we see how all of that plays out. So Christopher Bell deserves credit. At least he was a guy that led 90-plus laps before getting to victory lane. I mean, we've seen in some of these rain-shortened races, these drivers will take 2 tires. They won't have led a lap under the green flag conditions. They'll lead under caution and end up in victory lane. At least that wasn't the case for what we saw in the Coke 600.
All right, Todd Fuhrman, BetTheBoardPodcast.com, BetTheBoardPodcast.com, and at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. Thank you very much, Fuhrman. Have a great weekend.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. You guys do the same.
All right, buddy. Take care. Our guy Newgarden, though, made a great pass to win the Indy 500. That was a very exciting finish. I actually saw the end of that.
Joseph did a good job getting there.
One of the were you play on words there? Joseph, like in the Bible?
Joseph.
That is his name, yes. Yeah. One of the great, it goes back a long way. One of the best interviews we've had on this show.
By far best.
IndyCar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Newgarden was a very fun interview, and it was before he'd hit it big. I wonder if he'd still be as fun
Well,
now.
and I was going to ask you guys, because I remember he was living in Nashville at that point.
Yep.
I wonder if he's still living in Nashville.
That's a great question.
Or if it ran him out because he got too big.
He was a fantastic interview with us, though, back in the day.
Odie's brings us part of the show, and then I've got one college football note, and when we come back in the next segment, Brown has some news about SEC football and Thanksgiving Day that he wants to sort of walk us through coming up. But tell us about Odie's.
Me and Brown are going there after the show, Dunaway. We did not invite you purposely. But we are going to be
playing
there.
golf.
I know that. I'm just kidding.
No, you really didn't.
Well, we didn't, but you really are playing golf.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have come. That's the thing. Dunaway's pissed because we didn't.
I know.
But he wouldn't have come anyway.
It's fine. Well, I'm getting used to it.
We're going to be at the Edgewood location, and of course, that's the newest location tonight.
Dayton Rockstar featuring Doug is in the newest location tonight.
Oh, first time you've played Edgewood.
Yes, the tour begins today.
You're going to love it.
I was eavesdropping on Rocky the other night at trivia, and he was asking Will if the stage is the same size. So I had a feeling
bigger.
You were going to be.
Yeah, Will's got a big jump set.
Yeah. Bigger stage.
Yeah,
you're going to like this
good,
location.
Good.
Yeah.
I might just stay the whole time.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go be there,
just
man.
Post up and wait for you guys to get their live music, both locations, on Friday and Saturday nights. Great food, always from Rodney Davis. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, that great Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. Stop into one of those 2 locations this weekend. Go see Rockstar tonight, the Edgewood location, Odie's Tavern.
First off of Fuhrman's interview, so in some places, Alabama, the betting favorite.
Yeah.
Now, he said Klingon came back to UConn. That is not correct, is it? I don't think that's the case.
No.
Carabin came back. I think who he confused
Klingon's
it.
gone. He'll be a top 5 guy probably.
But Carabin came back to UConn.
Right.
So he misspoke there a little bit. But in some places, Alabama's the betting favorite to win the national championship in Vegas.
He said even over teams like Kansas. I mean, this is not like him stumbling through like the SEC. No, this is the betting favorite. I mean, that's wild to me. Like we talked about yesterday, this might be the first time Alabama's ever been a better favorite in basketball than football, and it's close.
That's insane.
I mean, it's the first time they've ever been the betting favorite to win the national championship.
I mean, I think they're going to be really good.
And you know how you're really good? You do things that you wouldn't normally do. For instance, Alabama is going to go on the road and play North Dakota to get Grant Nelson back to his home state. They made that announcement. North Dakota did earlier today. North Dakota hosting Alabama at the Betty Engelstad Sioux Center.
Wow.
They're up there at North Dakota as I read that for the first time on the air.
The old BEDSSE.
I know what this is. This isn't about Grant. This is about Nate Oates wanting to go to all 50 states. He's crossing North Dakota off.
This is Alabama's first time ever to play a sporting event in North Dakota, I believe. And I think they played in South Dakota once. I'm not sure about that. Auburn played in South Dakota last year, right?
Yep.
To open up the season. So to North Dakota they go for a road game. North Dakota is going to come back and play 2 in Coleman Coliseum. But this one is basically to take Grant Nelson back there, who's from Devil's Fork?
Devil's Island.
Devil's Falls?
Devil's Island, I think.
Okay, Devil's wherever in North Dakota.
Where I was going to send you.
Right.
And you sent me to Amish country instead.
But if you go back to the
Devil's Lake.
Sweet
Devil's
16,
Lake,
Sweet 8, Elite 8, and the Final 4, there were so many people with North Dakota ties showing up in North Dakota State gear where Grant had played before Alabama to cheer him on, even in an Alabama interview. That was one of the things I did on social media in our coverage out in L.A. was to interview a couple of those folks. And they were like, oh, Grant, we don't blame him for leaving and going to Alabama. Great opportunity for him. We're cheering for Grant. He's a native son, maybe the most popular sports figure in North Dakota right now. And they came to cheer on Grant Nelson. So Alabama's going back to play basketball in his home state.
I used to think it was really cool. We talked the other day about how North Carolina played in Tuscaloosa because of Pete Chilcott, who was the Alabama native playing for Dean Smith. And Dean Smith used to do this for his seniors. He would schedule a road game as close as he could, legitimately, reasonably to their hometown. And I don't know if Nate Oates is always going to do this. I think it is a cool thing to do for Grant Nelson, though. This is a guy that did you a solid by coming back and playing.
Our friend Ronnie Suede was telling me the other day we were getting our hair cut, and Jack Taylor's got a full beard, is just ending his sophomore year.
Yes,
and I brought that up, and Ronnie's like, man, I saw it all the time in the Middle East. He was like, guys would keep their first mustache. It was a symbol that they have gone to manhood. And I think Grant Nelson, he was like, it was a really bad look. I think Grant Nelson has kept his lip cheese.
His lip cheese.
Yeah, he's just never shaved it.
I do remember guys like that in high school that the minute they could get noticeable facial hair, they would not touch it.
And those are the guys that left at noon to DECA.
Yeah, go work on the cars.
From industrial arts to DECA.
Yeah, go cut some wood.
Pack of cigs, man. They're lighting that Marlboro Red up.
They got to drive their own car over there, too. Yeah, absolutely. I think they left Thompson and went to Columbiana to do the DECA school.
Oh, is that where it was?
Yeah, and then they went to the mill and worked the tweener shift.
Didn't you say y'all had, because I know early on in the Homewood days, you could buy a smoking pass and go out by the flagpole and smoke?
Oh, yeah.
But you had to pay for it, right?
Yeah, you had to pay for it at Thompson.
You got to pay to die.
Yeah.
Smoking tax.
Yeah, the smoking pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually, I think it was by the flagpole. We actually had a smoking pole, a rock out there you could sit on and crush your cigarettes on.
Oh, he's on the sitting rock. Damn.
You can immediately identify every girl that's lost her virginity.
Because she's
she's a smoker.
I saw you out at the smoking pole today.
Yeah, what about it?
Doris and I went out there to the smoking pole. Beverly and I. One more thing before we go to break. Northwestern is playing in a temporary stadium.
Better than I thought, by the way.
This is the way it's going to look.
Yeah.
You tell me about wind on kicks and punts playing right on the lake. This is the way they'll play some home games this year. Some will be played at Wrigley Field, the bigger ones. But look at the setup at Northwestern from Adam Rittenberg of ESPN. Northwestern sending a conceptual image of its temporary lakeside football stadium, which will host games in 2024 and 2025. These are the season ticket holders who are getting the image. That's an image-generated concept there. It ain't bad. Most of the seats are in the end zone. Very high school-like on both sidelines. But right on that lakefront, what is the wind going to be like with no stadium to block it?
That's one of the stories we really didn't talk about because nobody cares about Northwestern football. But Pat Fitzgerald getting run off and David Braun taking over, who was just coming over as a coordinator, going up to the Division I level. And the job that he did last year with Northwestern was absolutely amazing. But that is pretty cool temporary setup.
The one that surprises me, if I've got my information correct here, which is a possibility I don't, is that they're actually playing Wisconsin in that stadium. I'm going to assume the Cubs Saturday, October 19th. I mean, the regular season's over by then, right?
Yeah, that's the date they have to save for the playoffs.
I guess they have to save that date for the playoffs. So they couldn't. That's the date of that game. So they couldn't play that at Wrigley. I'm surprised by that. Wisconsin, I think, travels pretty well, and that is a tiny, tiny stadium. But that's one of the games they're playing there. The other ones, though, they don't blow you away really. Miami, Ohio, Eastern Illinois, Indiana. I mean, those are not going to be highly attended games, but they do play Ohio State and Illinois at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, but sadly, there'll be some Fox, CBS, or NBC crew having to do that game.
At a high school stadium, basically.
Basically a high school stadium with the guys on the cranes and their camera going,
yeah, I know. You'll probably at times get some field level shots, and they'll have to explain the wind got too high, like they do when lightning.
Yeah, we've had to bring the guys down off the crane.
Yeah, so everything's going to be field level. We apologize.
We had to ground the drones.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. All right, when we come back, Brown's got some information on some of the SEC television that's going on, specifically on what's going on Thanksgiving Day, because we now know the Egg Bowl is on a Friday. And I think it was announced yesterday that Texas A&M's on a Saturday. What Trev Alberts is saying about the future of Texas A&M on Thanksgiving Day, and some other information as we roll on today on the show that's being brought to you by Dr. B, the guy under the Shorebirds hat is Lance Taylor.
Yeah, Dr. B, best in the business. Again, when I started to thin out, I asked around. Everybody said Dr. Beckenstein is the guy you need to go see. Not only did I go see him over 2.5 years ago, Brown went to see him a little over a month ago. We're both doing that same treatment, the non-invasive treatment, 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. My hair has more than doubled in thickness since I started that treatment. Call Dr. B and that staff today. Ask about the consultation, 205-319-0316. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Again, call 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, t3hair.net.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Back with you on the next round. As we continue today, one of the things about Charles Barkley that's always impressed us is how generous and kind he is to people when he's out on the town. Even at Auburn basketball games, you can see people lined up during TV timeouts to get pictures taken with Charles. We've seen it at restaurants where his food goes cold. He's up. VIP areas or at bars, dance clubs. He's always been that way. It never gets old for him. And I have no problem really with Kylie and Jason Kelce on a date night over the Memorial Day holiday weekend, not wanting to take a picture with a lady and her, I don't know if she had a husband or what, but look at this video here. TMZ sent this out, and so too did this podcast, WTTW podcast here. It's really quick. That's Kylie in the dress there, but the lady was hanging apparently while Jason was trying to park at a restaurant waiting for someone to back out. The lady had come out and was hanging on their truck, trying to get them to take a picture, and the bystander said they politely declined several times. And then when they finally pulled in and parked, the lady got up in Kylie's face and said, "You'll never be allowed back here on Sea Island again. You guys are done here. You're never coming back to Sea Island."
They can't come to Sea Island?
Sea Island's nice.
Look, people are
No golf.
stupid. I think that we know that. People are really, really stupid. This is the unfortunate thing about people that are famous.
Yep.
You know, you have one situation. 99 times you'll take a picture of somebody. One time you don't. It gets on video now, and you're viewed as a jerk.
That's exactly right. And
if this was Travis, I would be like, he's in the wrong. But because it's Jason, I'll let it go.
And they have apologized. The other people, not
Family.
the Kelce's. Yeah, the other family has apologized.
Well, the mayor came out and said, "We want to pay you back. Come back and do date night all on us.
Yeah.
We're sorry this happened." And I would imagine the lady who apparently, according to bystanders, had a few to drink inside the restaurant.
Well, I would guess.
If you'll show the video again, I don't think she probably realized, just seeing Kylie on television, how big Kylie is when she got out.
Yeah, she's tall.
Former lacrosse player, and she's a tall drink of water.
Yeah, I knew Jason was big. I did not know Kylie. I haven't paid that close attention to her. I did not know she played lacrosse, but I did notice in that video, the first thing that jumped out is how tall she is.
I can't believe a picture is this important. And if that girl's chirping to them about not getting a picture made, can you imagine how bad she is behind the scenes after a night of vodka with her husband?
Yeah. And look, the WTW podcast there says, "Crumb bum harassing Kylie and Jason Kelce for a photo." Called her a crumb bum.
I don't know. I'm with Lance. I just don't know.
People are stupid, right?
Yeah. I just don't know how a photo can get big enough. I'm holding onto a truck. I'm basically the officer arresting Scotty Scheffler and dragging me with a truck.
My big takeaway on the truck thing, by the way, Jason's driving one of those new Tesla trucks, which may be the ugliest invention of all time.
Maybe. I think we can retire it.
There was one on 280 the other day. I was beside it.
They're awful. Yeah, I saw one in Meadowbrook the other day. They are the ugliest looking car ever.
Why do we
I
have
think I'd
to
rather drive a Mini Cooper.
I had to. Why? Oh, 100% I had. Why do battery power cars have to look different? Like, have you noticed that? Like any all electric cars, they do a total. They don't look anything like the gas powered.
Yeah,
some of it. I have one on my street because I'm walking court, and you just hear this.
Oh, I know. It is kind of
I
scary.
turn around real quick, and it's like a
30 miles an hour.
Like, but it's a normal looking car, but it's not like, well, that's obviously an electric car, but it's just like, she's so quiet. It's like a black car, and every time.
Well, here's first down for you. Bigger Colt, Texas A&M fans or Tesla drivers?
I don't know.
You know, because I got two brothers that are Tesla drivers,
Yeah.
and one of them's got one of the ugliest cars I've ever seen. Like the dashboard, yeah, that's cool. I like white leather interior, but it's an ugly car.
Yeah. Tesla does not have male cheerleaders. So I'm going to give Tesla the win there.
Oh, that Tesla drivers are male cheerleaders.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Here's the one on 280 the other day.
How did Scott get that photo so quick?
Dunaway sent it to
Was
him.
that off me? No. But that's on 280. That's the other day. Yeah.
That is a weird looking vehicle. I don't like it. Scott, they look like they're just welded together in somebody's backyard.
Well, nobody wants attention driving that, right?
Yeah, that was yesterday on 280.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
So that's completely battery powered, that one, right?
I have no idea.
I think they are. Yeah.
I think that's correct.
Yeah,
I think
so,
all Teslas
so that's
are.
what my oldest brother's like. Dude, you don't understand. I never have to fill up. But his ass has to pull over and charge for 3 hours. I'm like,
now
I'd rather fill up and pay the 50, 60 bucks than
keep
have
moving.
to sit there for 3 hours.
And that charge is not free.
No, for Tesla it is. It's the only EV that is free.
Oh, is it? I thought you had to pay.
A lot of other electric vehicles out there you got to pay, but not for Tesla.
Now, Tyler is right. The best thing Tesla ever did was popularize big aftermarket entertainment screens. He's right.
Oh,
Since
yeah.
Tesla came on the market, everybody has
That's what
tried
I've
to keep
said.
up with their screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The only thing good about it.
Hemp Hill Services bringing you the great folks. Hemp Hill bringing you great service when it comes to heating and cooling and also plumbing, LT.
Yeah, look, I talked about you got to keep the AC keeping up with this changing weather. I was asking Brown, we were talking about temperatures. I've got a 75 high in Birmingham. You had like an 84.
You got
right?
83.
That's a big difference there. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Trusted name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues, call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train.
Jeff says the charge only takes 30 minutes and it's not free.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think you got to pay. I don't know what the charge is.
Well, that doesn't make any sense then.
I kind of like gas power. I'm just going to stick with gas power. I don't think I'll ever have.
Jeff's wrong, but maybe Jeff has a Tesla. Maybe
I
he's
think
got one of
Jeff
those-
has one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I'm ever going to go battery power.
Yeah.
I'm like Rockstar though, man. Like I'm one of the first times I saw one. It was in my church parking lot, and there were kids walking, and the person was not driving unsafely, but you couldn't hear them coming. And I'm like, that used to be like when you're playing near the street, you could hear a car coming, and you know not to go out in the street. Or if you're riding bikes and you hear a car behind you, you yell to everybody, car, and everybody kind of gets over, right? And those things you don't hear.
Yeah.
I mean, that does create danger for
On my
kids.
drive back from Nashville the other day, there was a Tesla in the left lane. I was getting after it. I was driving like little T.
Okay.
Because I had a window where my didn't have any leg pain. I wanted to get home before it started to hurt again. So I'm cruising along, probably about 88, 90.
Uh-huh.
And there's some cars following me. The Alfa Romeo's getting after it. I'm the lead dog, and there's 2 or 3 cars following me, and I'm coming up on a Tesla, and there's nobody in the right lane.
Yeah.
It's in the left lane. And, I don't flick lights or anything. I just assume you see it coming pretty fast. I get over. I'm a get over to the right lane kind of guy. They're not getting over. So as I get over to the left, they're driving along. I'm sure they're driving about 79 in the left lane, and I look, and it's a guy, is reading the book, and it's driving itself.
Oh.
See, that's the other obnoxious thing.
I'm like,
the
dude.
older brother's like, it drives itself. And I'm like, if you can go take a nap, if you can be like, okay, drive me to Destin, and you can go lay down in the back seat and it gets you down there, that's awesome. But because you got to stand back there and like cross your arms and let it kind of steer itself,
Yeah.
it makes no sense. Stupid.
Do you ever, I did this, so I've lost track of this entire week. Wednesday, I was playing in the Jack State, Coach Rodriguez tournament over there. And I decided I am tired of being on the interstate, so I just went back roads all the way home. Do you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was just like, I'm tired of driving on the interstate. So I decided I'm going to roll my windows down, open my sunroof, and go back roads all the way home. It's going to take me a little bit longer, but I'm just tired of being on the interstate. I really am. Yeah. So I went back roads all the way home.
That's a nice problem to have, man.
What?
Just take the time.
Oh, I did. There was no rush. There was nothing, that I had to get back home. My wife and I were going to dinner, but I was going to make it back in plenty of time to make dinner, make it to our dinner reservation. So I was just like, I got all the time in the world. I'm going home on the back roads. Yeah. It was nice, Jim. Windows down, music cranked.
I understand. Yesterday, Trev Alberts says this about college football in Texas A&M. Remember, he's the AD at Texas A&M now. He does not want Texas A&M and Texas to be a Thanksgiving Day game in the future. 72 times they have played on Thanksgiving.
God, that's a lot. I didn't know it was that many times.
72 times. And they played every year since 1915 up until when they stopped playing in 2011. 72 times on Thanksgiving Day. He does not want it on Thanksgiving Day. I was incorrect yesterday when we announced that the Egg Bowl was moving till Friday afternoon. We were like, man, that's got to mean that they're moving Texas A&M to prime time on Thanksgiving night. That appears not to be the case. Brownie, what do you know about SEC football on Thanksgiving?
I am told that the SEC will not have a Thanksgiving football game this year.
We are out of the Thanksgiving.
We're out of the Thanksgiving race. I am told by a very, very reliable sources. Plural.
So who gets it?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, but
I got
remember
excited
the NFL.
this morning.
Remember the NFL.
NFL's got three.
Has gone really strong now. It's an NBC game in prime time.
Dolphins Packers is your NBC primetime game. Yeah.
But I mean, they've still. I guess the numbers have been decent for the college game against that primetime game.
The Egg Bowl's going against that NBC game for quite a while now.
I got so excited this morning when I saw nearly 1,000 college football games to air on ESPN platforms.
That's a lot, isn't it?
It blew my mind too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know the first year the Egg Bowl went to Thanksgiving. It has been quite a while though. But it has become a Thanksgiving staple, and I love it. I like having both options. I like the Egg Bowl is a fun game.
Despite the records, I planned my trip back from Mentone with my family's Thanksgiving to get home right at kick of the Egg Bowl. Now, won't have to worry about that now. I guess I can hang around a little longer in Mentone.
Oh, you don't have an excuse.
Still have to get back home in time to do the show on Friday. Still got to get back and do that. But now Friday with the Egg Bowl in the afternoon, Georgia Tech, good old-fashioned hate in prime time. That's good. So the SEC sort of double dipping now on Black Friday. Any other TV stuff you learned about in your little text thread there?
So real quick, though, if there's 1,000 games on all ESPN platforms, is that like 70 games a week? Like, I don't know how that's possible.
That includes ESPN Plus.
Any streaming.
For instance, a lot of UAB's games
Bowling
are on
Green
ESPN
in Miami,
Plus.
Ohio.
Sanford games are on ESPN Plus. Kennesaw State's
Still
on ESPN
crazy.
Plus.
I was, just real quick, Jim, if you'll let me, I got to find it first. I was going to give you the rest. I had it pulled up earlier, but I had to change something. I was going to give you the rest of the SEC schedule that day. These are, because now all these games are going to be on Saturday. So some of these games are going to get lost here. But
rivalry Saturday. So Black Friday, we got the Egg Bowl and then good old-fashioned hate.
Yep.
No game on Thursday, so everything else is on Saturday. That's Iron Bowl Saturday.
That is Iron Bowl Saturday. So that's two legs of a triple header on ABC. You told me Oklahoma State, Colorado's the early game.
I think
is that
Oklahoma
right?
State, Colorado's the early game.
And then you got the Egg Bowl is going to be a 2:30 kick, and Georgia Tech, good old-fashioned hate, a 6:30 kick. But all those games on ABC. So this leaves all these games for Saturday. This is Rivalry Saturday with nothing on Thanksgiving night. Florida State. That was a Black Friday game last year, if you remember.
Hard to remember because those games have gotten really bad.
That was a good game, though, last year.
It was.
Yeah. Florida State, Black Friday.
It was only a good game because Florida State didn't have their starting quarterback.
That's very true.
It's a tight game, though. South Carolina at Clemson. Now, all these games are going to be ESPN because they're either an SEC or ACC team. South Carolina at Clemson. Louisville at Kentucky. Iron Bowl, Texas A&M, Arkansas at Missouri, Oklahoma at LSU.
Big game.
That is a rivalry Saturday game.
We talked earlier. Maybe that would be Thanksgiving night before we knew that the SEC was out of the Thanksgiving business.
Yeah. Tennessee at Vandy. Even if you put that on Thanksgiving night, I don't know how much I'd pay attention to it. But I tell you what, Oklahoma LSU Thanksgiving night. Arkansas Missouri Thanksgiving night would be entertaining. Obviously Texas A&M would be. Louisville Kentucky. That game's going to get lost on Rivalry Saturday. South Carolina Clemson's going to get lost on Rivalry Saturday.
This tells me that I would imagine reaction in the chat room, please, that Ole Miss and Mississippi State fans I didn't see a lot of people upset that it wasn't going to be on Thanksgiving night.
I don't think they've ever liked it. I don't think the Mississippi folks have liked it. I think it's us that has liked it.
We like it.
Yeah.
But that triple header that you've got on ESPN and ABC that starts Oak State at Colorado, then Mississippi State at Ole Miss, and then Georgia Tech at Georgia, which one of those games is the best game? I'm talking about as far as like final score, competitively.
I would probably say Egg Bowl. Of all those.
See, I think Oak State's going to be so much better than Colorado, but I think Mississippi State in Oxford, I just don't see them hanging with Ole Miss. And then Georgia Tech at Georgia, I think you're going to get 3 blowouts.
Yeah. Could be Deion Sanders' last game.
As of right now, as of today, The only Thanksgiving night games I am aware of, or the only Thanksgiving night game period I am aware of, is Memphis at Tulane on ESPN. I believe that has replaced your Egg Bowl, Memphis at Tulane. So
that doesn't get me to – that likely does not – Memphis is supposed to be better this year. John Summerall has done okay rebuilding Tulane. That could be a meaningful game in the AAC, but that likely doesn't get me to turn off the NFL game.
Oh,
the Egg
no.
Bowl – the Egg Bowl took my main TV, and the NFL was on my side TV.
Unless it was my team playing, I'm with you. I gave priority to the Egg Bowl side TV with the NFL. I've already gotten 2 good NFL games that day. Give me a little college.
Boy, how
Memphis
different,
Tulane will not.
How different are these numbers going to be from the NFL to that college?
Oh,
game?
Memphis Tulane will get destroyed. It's on main ESPN at 6:30. But I mean, Packers and Dolphins.
Yeah,
on ABC.
that's where the Egg Bowl was, main ESPN.
Yeah, so that's taken the place.
Kevin says, doesn't ESPN and ABC count the same? ABC counts as ESPN, yeah, but some games are actually on ABC, some are on ESPN. Yeah, they're all produced by the same people.
I will say Black Friday is I guess a better day than normal because of that triple header we talked about. You've also got Minnesota at Wisconsin on CBS.
Yeah.
You've got Utah at UCF on Fox as a late Black Friday game. That's a 7:00 Central Time kick for that one. Utah at UCF.
And am I right that you've got
Nebraska at Iowa's NBC?
Nebraska, Iowa, 6:30 on NBC.
Yep, 6:30 NBC and Peacock. Yeah, you got Nebraska, Iowa. So you've actually got a pretty good day of Black Friday football. Now, Nebraska, Iowa used to be a day game. That used to be an early game on Fox. It's going to be prime time, but Black Friday's a pretty good college football day.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we'll do our 4 downs today. Rockstar in the Lounge still to come. The show being brought to you by our Mental Health Minute today. JohnstonRVCenter.com. They've been bringing you this the whole month of May. We're at the end of May. And we do appreciate Nick and the fine folks at Johnston RV helping us with our Mental Health Minute throughout this Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, according to the World Health Organization, about 4% of the world's population experiences depression, and this rate increases as you get older. Approximately 280 million people in the world suffer from depression, about 47 million unfortunately, right here in the United States. Symptoms of depression can be different between men and women, but the common symptoms are feeling depressed and sad, feeling worthless, hopeless about the future, feeling a lot of guilt, low self-worth, thoughts of death or suicide, difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite. If you're experiencing any of this, you're having a lot of anxiety, reach out to your doctor, start the conversation. Very important you get on top of this. Again, the numbers are the numbers. It's going to get worse the older you get. Reach out today. If you know somebody that's in trouble, 988 is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Again, 988. Men's Mental Health Medical Minute brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV.
Yeah, thank you to Nick Johnston and the gang there. I-65 exit 304 and Coleman 334 indicator. They've repriced both those lots, and they are so confident in their pricing that they will beat any price nationwide. You bring them a price on a comparable RV, they'll beat it, and that's a nationwide guarantee. Also, RV warranty forever. Make sure you've got that lifetime warranty on anything new and qualifying used. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
We were just having a conversation because Lunsford's wife, Laurel, comes up every week with a box of cookies. We won't give the location.
There's zero chance they would ever advertise with us. So.
But on Sunday, this past Sunday, I went over to my friend Tony's house, Tony and Courtney's, and they were having a little pool get-together and cooking out. And I did the thing you should do. I'm like, hey, can I bring anything? Chips, buns, you need ice, you need beer. He was like, swing by this place and pick up cookies. And I thought to myself, man, I got off easy here. I was ready to bring beer for the party. And he was like, no, go pick up a dozen cookies. By the way, you buy 12, you get a 13th free.
Oh, the old baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
By the way, the 13th isn't free. $40.47
for a dozen cookies.
$40.47.
It's insane.
When I got there, I said, dude, next time let me bring the beer.
Yeah, I told you yesterday Taco Bell was $40 for Jack and Ryan the other day when they went. I mean, everything's gotten expensive. So I want to ask an etiquette question.
An etiquette question?
Yeah, I think I know the answer, at
Always
least the way
pass
I
the
have
salt and
played
pepper
it.
together. Always salt together, salt and pepper.
All right.
If you get invited to the lake and you go out with the boat owner / who invited you to the lake, do you always pay for gas?
Yes, you at least offer to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get the gas.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I was just.
have you seen somebody not do that, or you?
No. I mean, I'm sure people haven't done it. I'm just saying, I wonder what the normal etiquette is in that situation, and I wonder do most boat owners take that.
It's the same etiquette like if we both have to go somewhere and I drive, you offer to pay for the gas.
Oh, I never do that.
Okay.
With you, I'm talking about.
I know.
I mean, we usually do it for work, though. Figure you're writing some of this off.
Well, I mean, so if we were going to West Point, Mississippi to play Old Waverly golf course.
That's not for work, though.
Okay, I didn't say work.
I'd offer something.
Okay.
I'd buy lunch,
curious.
your greens fee, your gas. Anytime I've offered gas, you're like, no, I've got it.
I'll tell you where Jim is really generous. Just about any time we go to a restaurant, he offers to pay for the whole thing. And I have to say, at least split it. We at the pharmacy the other day in Nashville, the guy walks up and doesn't even ask if we want our check. Jim's like, hey, can you bring our check and just make it on one check?
The least
I was like,
they
no,
can do
no,
is
no,
pay
no.
for the bad food. The least they can do.
I'll make sure my money's just as dry as the meat was.
There's obviously a term for it. Daniel says if you don't pay for gas, it's called being a boat slut.
Wow. You do not want to be known as that.
We went out with the Flora-Bama people. I ain't paying for that. They told me.
No, because just on a normal boat down in Lake Martin, it's going to hit you for about 150, 155.
Oh, I bet more than that now.
Oh, probably
now, probably 2+. But I think their boat to fill up was, I think the yacht was like $20,000.
There's a little
$20,000.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little supply and demand. There's not a whole lot of places you can get gas on the water.
That's true.
I mean,
they've got you.
Yeah, they got you over literally over a barrel when it comes to that.
Yikes! 20,000?
Yeah, $20,000.
How big are those tanks?
I mean, massive. I mean, you're talking about a boat that you can take to Bimini.
Where the hell's Bimini? Is it near East
Basketball
Aboga?
player, isn't he?
That's on Logan Martin.
Yeah, not on Logan Martin. It's down in the Bahamas.
Down in the Bahamas.
Yeah, down off the Keys.
Okay, 4 downs in a second. But speaking of islands that I've never heard of, I've heard of this one actually. But the Olympics are 56 days away in Paris.
Can't wait.
But the surfing event,
I saw this,
is actually going to be happening in the French Polynesian island of Tahiti.
How far is that from actual mainland France?
Oh, I thought Tahiti was in the Pacific. Am I wrong?
I swear I've always thought Tahiti.
Yeah, Tahiti is in the Pacific.
That's what I thought.
So they're going to be all the way around the world, but it is French territory.
Yeah, but I've seen pictures of the tube waves they get there. It's a great place to have the surfing event.
Tahiti is a long way from France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those people will not ever sleep in the Olympic Village.
Tahiti is basically, if you fly from L.A. to Australia, Tahiti's about halfway, somewhere near halfway between L.A. and Australia. Boy, that is in the middle of nowhere. How do you get there?
Just had a friend get back from Bali, finally. English bulldog for a long time.
Boy, Tahiti looks fantastic.
I didn't realize that's like the getaway for Australians.
Bali? Well, what are they getting away from?
I guess Australia.
We get away to you. That's our getaway.
That's the one thing I don't think they have in Australia is monkeys. They've got everything else.
Well, Fiji is pretty good. That's where Rockstar's favorite golfer of all time is from, Fiji.
Did all the bulldog grow back by the time she got back? Like the bulldog was back intact?
Yeah, bulldog's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Bulldog's great.
Nothing to see here.
Lost a little fur.
So do they always have surfing?
Zero chance she's ever watched this.
Zero chance.
Do they always have surfing in the Olympics?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Is this new? Maybe
I don't know.
Because you would have thought, France was like, hey, we don't have surfing covered.
Did you see where they just arrested this 18-year-old Russian kid because he was going to, he was planning an attack on all the soccer games in Paris for the games coming up?
No, but I'm glad we arrested him if he was planning an attack.
Good catch by whoever did that.
Yeah, but I mean, boy, our society.
Yeah. Well, that's technically not our society.
Yeah, but it is.
He's a Russian. Did he live here? Or
no, but you know what I mean.
World
I'm just talking
society.
about the world population. I'm just talking about just in general.
Yeah, I watched a documentary.
Society.
4 downs in a second. I watched a documentary the other night on Apollo 8.
Okay.
The first one that actually went in orbit of the moon and didn't land and came back.
Right. Yep.
And how basically it was a roll of the dice that none of this stuff had worked.
Mm-hmm.
And they were about to shut down the Apollo. And they basically said, we need to do something so the president doesn't shut down the Apollo because the landing device wasn't working. They weren't going to use it in this. So they just got these 3 volunteers, these astronauts, these heroes to sign on to do this. And they didn't. One of the wives said, what's the chance of this working? The flight commander said, would you accept 50-50? So they flew off.
No, I won't. I'm out.
All right, 51-49. We're in.
But the first time that famous picture of the Earth from orbiting the moon that one of the astronauts took that ended up being on the cover of Time magazine, he said it was just, one of those moments in life that he looked down and saw how out in the middle of nowhere this blue marble was. And he thought to himself how we couldn't all on that planet get along.
I think,
Remember how chaotic the 60s were and it's as chaotic as it is now. And if you're that far away looking down at Earth, you would think we could get along a little bit better than we do.
If I'm not mistaken, Frank Borman is the astronaut. You can check me on that one on Apollo 8 that's talking about Frank Borman. And I believe that was the one that was orbiting the moon on Christmas Eve, and they did a live broadcast on Christmas Eve. Am I right about that?
Yeah, Norval was on that. I think Chuck Norval.
Jim Lovell.
Jim Lovell.
Yeah, Jim Lovell, who is eventually on Apollo 13. That's who Tom Hanks' character is on Apollo 13. It was Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and I can't remember the third astronaut on Apollo 8. But it was a key mission, a key Apollo mission, because each step of the way, like they had to prove they could get to the moon and back. Okay, check. Then they had to prove that they could do all the links up in space where you link up the capsule with the lunar module and all that. I mean, all those things, and they had to do it in each Apollo mission and prove it could be done.
Can you imagine being on pins and needles? Like, you're never safe until you actually are on the ground.
Well, that's right. They had never tested, coming back in at that rate of speed of the parachutes working just to land in the Pacific. And they landed, by the timing it landed at night, and they had to have the searchlights out to find them.
How bad would that be if the shark gets them?
Yeah.
Oceanic white tip takes out somebody right when you land. You think everything, man, we survived.
I think it was, I can't remember the order in which this happened. It was before or after Apollo 13, but there was a cosmonaut that got stuck in space like Apollo 13, and they brought his wife in to say their final goodbyes. And
For people that don't know, cosmonaut is the
a Russian space traveler. Yeah. And he actually survived re-entry, like against all odds, much like Apollo 13, survived re-entry, and then his chutes didn't open and he crashed into the Earth.
Yeah.
Because Apollo 13, that was a concern that their chutes weren't going to open.
Yeah, but they never did ocean landings. They
the cosmonauts,
they did parachutes and landed on land.
That's right. Even crashing into the ocean, he wasn't going to make it. But either way, you're right. They would land
at that speed. A flat surface is going to be like any land anyway.
Yeah, that's game over.
No, it's that whole period of time is.
Was that a good documentary? I love the Apollo era stuff.
It was. It really was. And and there's too much information, but you lose all radio contact on the backside of the moon.
Yep.
And that's when they had to do some perfect. They were, had fired too much on the test of the system, so if they missed on the firing, they would stay in the moon's orbit forever. And so that firing had to happen while it was on the dark side of the moon, so they were all nervous while they're out of radio contact coming back on the other side.
So if they miss that, they're just going to be continuous.
They float in space till they
wouldn't
die.
have the gas they wouldn't have the fuel to get out of the moon's orbit.
That'd
be tough.
You got to pull out of the moon's orbit and get back into the Earth's pull.
Like they had to fire it at a certain time.
That's right.
Matt Damon did a good job with that.
At Mars?
Yeah.
The Martian.
Yeah.
And there's nobody to count them down. Like your point is, like they have to. It's on those three or however many are in
that
the
button.
Yeah.
Somebody with a stopwatch.
Yeah, to time it out just right.
Yep.
And if it was Gus, they got back. He takes credit. If they're just continuous, it was Rhett's fault.
If they're stuck on the moon,
an amazing time.
Can't believe Rhett's got to stick up here.
Amazing time. All right, we'll do 4 downs when we come back on the other side. Show being brought to you today by our wonderful folks at A+. A+, changing the way it looks right there in LT and Brown's house right now.
Absolutely. A+ Tile Home Remodeling. That is my guy, Brad Bell. When it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown house, my wife scoured the internet looking for the right person, the best contractor to do the job. She talked to numerous contractors, people that had used certain contractors. She read all the reviews, and she said, I think Brad Bell is our guy. Boy, I'm glad she did. He came in. We told him exactly what we wanted. He goes, all right, well, there's our project. He didn't try to sell us on anything else. He wanted it done the way we wanted it done. His crews were on time. They were clean. They were professional. At the end of every day, they would walk us through what they had done that day to make sure it met our expectations. I could not say anything better about what Brad did than what I just said right there. Here's what he specializes in. He specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's where you're going to get your money back when you go to sell your house. He did work in Lance's master bathroom as well. Master bath, kitchen, master bedroom closets. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. Here's his number, 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758 for Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, HempHillServices.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show. Rockstar, final hour of the show. Let's see how well you know TNR trivia. Always brought to you by who?
Okay, so the final hour of the show.
Every day.
Every day.
Hour 3.
Okay. The doors opened about 4 minutes ago.
Oh, really? Very good,
Who opened them, though?
Okay.
Who opened them?
Sterling.
And the gang.
The gang, the crew.
Yep.
And they're just opening up those fryers. It is Champese.
Is there a dish there that's uncomfortably named that Jim likes?
Oh, I'm a good big 2 white large breasts, just chunky ass. I like skinned breasts.
Chunky.
I like to I put them in my mouth and I just grovel over them. I don't want to make anybody comfortable, but yeah, I call it the titty special, the Jimmy Titty special. Sterling, you know what I like. Yeah.
Champy's chicken. We won 19 in Alabaster. Go by and have a great lunch experience there. I love the 2 big breasts and sides. All right,
chicken's
there.
good too.
And the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, a little spicy. There you go. That's our friends at Champy's Chicken. Open right now, Highway 119 in Alabaster. You know, a game we haven't talked about Friday night. Could be for a spot in the Big 12 championship game. Friday night, Black Friday, Utah UCF in the Bounce House in Orlando. That game could come down with implications on something big.
Do you trust Gus in that conference now?
Is he supposed to win that game or not?
Yeah, I do think Utah is going to be really, really good, especially with a healthy Cam Rising this year. I mean, they're good every year.
But that's an interesting game. Utah, UCF on Main Fox, Friday night, Black Friday.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think that UCF will be trying to play their way into it, but UCF could be spoiling Utah getting there.
I mean, that prime time at night that night is Stanford at San Jose State on CBS, main CBS.
Yuck.
Georgia Tech, Georgia on main ABC. Nebraska at Iowa on main NBC. And Utah and UCF on main Fox.
I told you Black Friday's a good day.
Probably the best game.
Yeah.
All 4 major networks with a primetime college football game on Black Friday.
Yep.
I like it.
And the Dolphins, who plays Black Friday during the day? Dolphins last year,
No, it's
right?
Kansas City. I can't remember who they play
Kansas
that
City
day.
and somebody.
I think they've got the Black Friday game because it's streaming and they're going to use Kansas City on every streaming game.
Much as I like the NFL, I wish they would stay away from Black Friday.
Yeah.
They own Thanksgiving.
You know, it was Dolphins-Jets last year, and it felt like a preseason game, honestly. I mean, the Dolphins blew them out, for one thing.
You say that, but didn't that was the game where the Jets threw the Hail Mary and had it returned on them, right?
Yeah, Dolphins returned the end of the half Hail Mary 100 yards for a touchdown.
I've never seen that, and I don't think you'll ever see it again, right?
Javon Holland. Now, unfortunately, Jalen Phillips got hurt in that game, which was a massive injury for us. But it just didn't feel right on Black Friday. But, yeah, you do not see that play a lot.
Yeah, so The TV schedule was released. Brown telling us earlier that the SEC is out of the Thanksgiving Day experience, at least for this year. Did they say going forward, any of their sources?
I was not told. Neither one of them would tell me going forward what the deal was. I don't know that the schedules have been settled going forward either, so they may not be able to say that. But it would surprise me with ESPN holding all the inventory that you give up on Thanksgiving and then go right back to it. And as you've heard, I don't think everybody's got an appetite for it. I mean, Ross Bjork doesn't like he does.
Trev Alberts says,
Trev Alberts.
Yeah, says we are not interested in playing on Thanksgiving Day.
You know what drives people to change decisions? Money.
Money.
It does. But
And I think there is a market like Dunaway that would rather see a good college matchup. How about this? Just an idea guy throwing it out. Like Butterball. Why wouldn't they have the Butterball Classic play every Thanksgiving, and you have a rotation of teams or two teams that you lock in, and you've got a huge sponsorship deal.
But this is the very first year of the whole ESPN deal, and they're already off Thanksgiving. That tells me that ESPN didn't really value the SEC there that much.
Or did the SEC
dictate it?
Dictate it. I'd like to know that. If it was an SEC decision, because to your point,
I bet it was ESPN.
They're showing a game. They're showing Memphis and Tulane. You wouldn't tell me they'd rather show Ole Miss and Mississippi State?
No, but I just think they're getting beat up so bad by the NFL. They're probably it's just not even worth it.
I mean, I don't know what it draws number-wise. I would imagine if you go all of rivalry weekend, that Thanksgiving night game is going to be way down in the number.
I mean, Tulane and
Memphis,
that won't draw 1 million people.
Yeah, I'm with Lance. That'll be one of the lowest ESPN games all year long.
And Caitlin Clark numbers might beat that.
Yeah, main ESPN game. That's going to be one of your lowest. I don't know if it was SEC or ESPN, but I would just say in this very first year, you're already off the Thanksgiving night. That tells me, it would indicate to me at least, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of it going forward, if any at all.
I mean, it's a new TV contract we're under, right?
Yeah.
So you wonder if there was wording put in there that says the SEC has no interest in playing on Thanksgiving Day.
But, I mean, why were they before? I mean, that was an ESPN game, and State and Ole Miss could have played that at any time they wanted.
Maybe they didn't have a breakout clause.
Maybe they did.
Said that.
I don't know.
I'd like to know that. That's one of those things that apparently we'll never get to know because the SEC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 have joined the ACC to try to get the ACC ESPN's contract not to be made public because of trade secrets there. And, the state of Florida and some folks who are suing ESPN over the TV contracts in the Atlantic Coast Conference want that contract to be made public. And the other conferences who've got TV deals both with ESPN and with Fox are joining forces with the ACC and saying, no, there's too many trade secrets and things in there. We don't want that to be public record.
I guess this could be one of them. Who made the call on no Thanksgiving football?
Yeah. I know as a fan, it would disrupt Thanksgiving Day. So I don't mind Texas A&M and Texas not wanting to play there, and I don't mind Ole Miss and Mississippi State being happy they're off of it.
I was at the Thanksgiving Day Iron Bowl. I assume you were working. I don't know if you were there, Lance. 92 Iron Bowl played during the day on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I had a bunch of fraternity brothers. They came in. We fed them. We had a Thanksgiving feast after the game. I thought it was miserable.
I think it was an 11 a.m. kick.
Pat Dye's last game. 17-0?
Yeah, 17-0. Antonio Langholm interception return off Stan White. Seems like an 11 a.m. kick. Maybe I'm wrong about that. It was an earlier.
It was 11.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 11.
I think it was 11 because we had Thanksgiving dinner afterwards. Maybe it was 2:30. I don't know. It was one of the two. It was day game, 100%.
It was a day game, 100%. Crystal blue skies.
A gorgeous day.
A little freezing, though.
Yeah. Stan White doesn't survive the end of the game, gets knocked out.
Byron Holbrooks.
Yeah. Interception.
No, that was 90.
No,
that was 90 on Holbrooks. Now, he could have gotten knocked out as well. Byron Holbrooks hit him in 90, I think.
Oh, that's the game I was at, was 90.
Yeah, that was not Thanksgiving Day.
Pat Dye's last game, Stan did not make it through.
Yeah, so I was at Pat Dye's last game.
That was 92. Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Yeah. 2:30 says Jeff. He believes it was.
It was an early. I mean, it was a day game, but whatever. I remember people eating turkey and dressing in the parking lot. I'm like, man, that was a lot of effort.
RTD for 11 or 12, not 2:30 for sure.
Yeah,
we're all over the board on this one.
I'm going to say I think it was 1 o'clock.
I think it was 11 o'clock.
I think it was 1 o'clock.
I'd probably find this out.
Could have been.
Yeah. Let's do 4 Downs. It is brought to you by our friends at Slice. After 4 Downs, Forrester has the release from EA Sports, a little trailer the video game coming out July 19th. But 4 Downs brought to you by Slice.
I'm going to try to get into one of those locations of Slice this weekend. Fantastic pizza. The best pizza out there. 5 locations. The original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montebello, Crestline Park, now Edgewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Get in, see the Bajaya Brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. Local pizza, local ingredients from the hot mama to the soul pie. You're going to absolutely love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Brooke Shields, 59 years old today.
Oh, wow.
Leah Thompson, 63 years old
I
today.
liked Leah Thompson.
In their prime, Brooke Shields, Leah Thompson.
I'm going to go Brooke Shields, but this is no shot at Leah Thompson. I was a Leah Thompson fan. I think prime Leah Thompson's probably Back to the Future.
Back to the Future or
Howard the Duck.
The Wild Things. I
Howard the
forgot
Duck.
what the
Carolina
name of that
City.
was.
Wasn't she also in the one where we had to get
Red
out
Dawn?
of the steel town?
Oh, yeah. All the right moves.
All the right moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was attractive, Brown, but I mean, you're going.
No, Brooke Shields.
I would go Lee Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Brooke was never my style.
That's when Brooke had a baby on Blue Lagoon and she tried to feed it an orange.
Yeah. See, that's what freaked me out was the Blue Lagoon.
You know she was just acting there, right?
I know she was, but that was sort of freaky. Couldn't get over her swim in the watering hole.
Well, I liked Brooke Shields.
Yeah, I mean, she was in, I think it was, what was that movie called? Her first big outside of the Blue Lagoon.
Oh, it was before.
Controversial.
Oh, it was something about a
Eternal Love or something.
No, wasn't it something about what was it called? Where prostitutes live in a house.
Brothel?
A brothel in New Orleans. Wasn't
I
she
don't
in that
remember
movie?
that. I don't remember that.
It seemed like she was like a child in that movie.
Brooke Shields was always model hot. Leah Thompson was always next door neighbor hot.
Check Pretty Baby.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Pretty Baby. Check Pretty Baby.
Yes. 1978. Played Violet. Don't know.
In Pretty Baby?
Yeah.
What's that movie about?
Well, I tell you what, you're on a heater with remembering movie names and stuff. I used to be so bad at that.
I'm just studying for trivia, man. Trying to help out the meltdown.
18 girl lives as a prostitute in New Orleans in 1917.
Who's in it?
Brooke Shields.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
but she was like 8 or 9 or 10 living in that brothel.
I'm not going to say this is you, but somebody did tell me that they prep for trivia when they're on their walk.
Oh, I don't.
And I'm like, my gosh.
They told me to be studying.
Do that?
I was like,
I saw Rosie Perez do it in White Man Can't Jump. But
she was great at it, though.
I hate to tell you, I have not thought once about it. I'd forgotten until it was
it's too random. There's no way.
I mean, I don't think you can prep for it.
Brown and I are on there next Wednesday.
Yeah, we're a team, man. Dunaway. You think there'll be any fighting there, Rockstar?
No, y'all agree with every answer.
The
I
meltdown
don't think
every
it's
day.
fine.
Meltdowns every day, 2 o'clock.
Second down.
Colin Farrell, 48 years old, better career. Colin Farrell, Colin Cowherd.
Oh, Colin Farrell. You know, Colin Cowherd.
Colin Powell, Colin Farrell.
Colin Powell?
Colin Powell, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll call him Colin just for this.
I'll probably go Colin Powell of those three.
He was a general, right?
Yeah. And,
Colin Kaepernick. You guys remember that guy?
Yeah.
He was a martyr, Rocky.
I think I'll go Colin Farrell over Colin Cowherd.
I would go Farrell. Yeah. But Cowherd, like,
He's
I
still
don't know,
doing it.
where can you hear him?
I
now?
have no earthly idea.
Okay.
The main
Fox Radio?
FS1, and he's on Fox Sports Radio.
Oh, is he?
I thought
don't
his
know where you get Fox
best
Sports
work
Radio.
was back in the day on ESPN.
Yeah.
Because you listen to him there.
Well, yeah, he disappeared.
He's different. That I have heard him in the last couple of years, and he's different.
I see him on social media. I don't think he's much different. The clips I see, but I think he's carved out a really good career. Colin Farrell's best roles were
Tigerland.
Penguin is fantastic. Him and the Penguin is Batman. They're going to do that series.
There
It's
you
really,
go.
really good.
There you go.
He was good. He was good in Horrible Bosses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
right.
He was good in Minority Report.
Total Recall.
In Bruges is a great movie. If you guys have never seen that,
Colin Farrell then for me. Yes.
Yeah.
You have me at Horrible Bosses.
Joe Namath, 81 years old today. Joe Namath or Joe Biden? I'm kidding. I'm not going to go Biden here, but I will go Joe Namath or Joe Burrow. Ultimately, better career.
I mean, the stats are going to be better Burrow.
Yeah, 100%. But that was a different era of football then.
If he wins one Super Bowl, it's going to lean Burrow on everything. But Joe Burrow will never be the icon that Joe Namath was.
Nowhere close.
No,
yeah.
you're right. But for this generation, I mean, if somebody's got swagger when it comes to the quarterback position right now in the NFL, it's Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's nowhere close to what Joe Namath was at that time. I mean, that was even before my time, but you go back and look and see the impact he had on media in general. I think he single-handedly mainstreamed the NFL.
He did definitely helped it when they had the upset in Super Bowl III. And, he was the first. A lot of guys do the guarantees now. And it's one of those, I know you hate no-hitters or you don't really.
I don't hate them, but I think they're overrated.
Think they're overrated.
Yeah.
Now when you hear the guarantee, you're like, doesn't mean anything. But back when he did it, that was the real deal.
It's just wild that in the NFL, he had a losing record, a 50% completion percentage, and far more interceptions than touchdowns. And he's viewed the way he's viewed.
Yep.
Joe Namath. I know it was a different world back then, but I'm just saying, you go look at his numbers, and if you didn't know anything about Joe Namath, and I just gave you his numbers, you're like, wow, that's a very disappointing career.
If they don't upset the Colts in Super Bowl III, he never becomes what he becomes.
I'm 100% with you, and that was his best year in that was 69, right?
Yep.
It was pretty much his 68 and 69 were his best 2 years, but outside of that, he did not have a good numbers career.
Because of the New York media market, he hosted a variety show in prime time with Dick Schaap, and then had a series of movies. And can you pull up how many movies Joe Namath was in?
It was never a good one, though.
Well, I mean,
that's like saying Shaquille O'Neal's been in movies.
Space Jam.
I mean, how many movies did Evel Knievel, was he in movies?
I'm sure he jumped something in a movie.
Yeah. He had movies made for him, sort of like Elvis did.
Joe Namath was...
He was in some biker movie where he threw a football and knocked a guy off the bike.
He started in Norwood, CC and Company. It was CC Ryder. That's the one you're talking about. The Last Rebel.
That's it.
Avalanche Express. Not exactly hits he's been in here.
Yeah. Here's Lucy. He played Joe Namath. On the Brady Bunch, he played, Joe Namath.
Chattanooga Choo Choo he was in.
He probably had to do prep.
Alf, he played Joe Namath. Kate and Allie, he played, who's that? Joe Namath. He was on a show. I remember First and 10 on HBO.
Yeah.
He played Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Going under, he played Captain Joe Namath.
Daniel's got a good point in the chat room. Burrow had one, if not the best college quarterback seasons ever.
That's absolutely correct.
I mean, he was a better college quarterback.
Oh, that's he's a better overall quarterback.
You're saying Joe Burrow is a better college quarterback than Joe Namath?
That one season, for sure.
100%.
The stats are different for what they were asked to do.
By the way, he's a better pro quarterback than Joe Namath, too.
Yeah.
It's just...
No, that one season, Joe Burrow, I mean, I know he had great receivers and great talent around him, but I don't remember him really making... multiple mistakes that year.
Joe Namath, if not for a horrible call, if we had replay back in the Orange Bowl, Joe Namath would be a two-time national champion quarterback.
Well, Joe Burrow and he have the same amount of national championships then.
Joe Burrow's parents didn't meet that night. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's right. That is correct.
Very true.
Fourth down.
Okay, this is going to be controversial because this is going to be difficult because of where we are. If we weren't here, I think it might be easy.
Bear Bryant or Bear Grylls?
Clint Eastwood, 94 today. Clint Eastwood, Nick Saban. Better career. I'm going to go Clint Eastwood.
It's a tough one. I mean, Saban is regarded as the best college football coach of all time.
Maybe the best coach of all time.
Yeah, I mean...
First of all, I'll go back and say Cam Newton's year better than Joe Burrow's, just in what he had around him and what he able to do. Cam Newton's year is better than Joe Burrow's.
I would agree with that just because of Cam Newton didn't have that talent around him.
Yeah, and Clint Eastwood has had an unbelievable career. Nick Saban's the greatest coach of all time. Clint Eastwood's a great career as a director, too.
That's right.
So it's hard to compare because one is the greatest of all time at what he does, and Clint Eastwood is one of the greatest of all times at what he does. So it would be a draw for me.
And to me, Clint Eastwood, the greatest cowboy. A lot of people would say John Wayne.
No, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
What is his? I mean, his thing is.
Clint Eastwood's going to be worth $500 million. Nick's
I'm not even looking at that.
Nick's probably worth $200 million.
Yeah, that's going to be a. I don't think
he's won 4 Oscars.
You don't think Nick's worth $200 million?
No, that's a lot of money.
He's got a lot of dealerships.
Well, I know that, but how many has he won, Rockstar?
He's won 4 Oscars: Best Picture and Best Director for Unforgiven, and
such a good movie.
Best Picture, Best Director for $1 Million Baby.
So those are the 4 he's won, huh?
Yeah, he was nominated for Best Actor for Unforgiven.
Yeah.
And Best Actor for $1 Million Baby. Damn.
Who owns this shithole? It was so good.
I mean, he's a fantastic. I'm with you. He's probably the best cowboy of all time.
You just shot an unarmed man. He should have
armed himself.
$70 million net worth right now for Nick Saban.
I think it's more. I think they're sandbagging.
Yeah.
200 is a bit heavy.
Yeah. That doesn't count if he sold his $17.5 million Florida mansion. That would increase his net worth.
Yeah, it would.
Yep.
I did get some interesting insight yesterday on who Nick's been playing golf with.
Oh, yeah?
Where? Give me a timeline on when we can see the Kristen Saban interview.
That is going to be the best videographer in the game. He's going to have to answer that question.
So
I told him to take his time on
Are we
it.
looking at Monday, Tuesday?
Today at 1, that'd be cool.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday.
Probably get it out next week sometime.
Next week sometime.
Yeah,
Scott.
next week sometime. Give us
Monday's
plenty of
next
time
week?
to tease it.
Yeah, it is next week.
All right, so that is our 4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy continues to be celebrated by his brothers Jason and Chris. Make sure you stop in one of those 5 locations. Pick up a pizza this weekend. You're going to absolutely love it. It is Slice.
All right, so here is the exciting video from EA Sports.
If it's in the game, is it in the game?
If it's in the game, it's in the game. Home field advantage
Oh, yeah, I like this.
is going to be a factor for the best home fields. Texas being shown there.
Should be.
For some reason, UCLA. Was that UCLA?
I think it was Pitt, actually.
Oh, was it Pitt?
Show us a good home field advantage.
So the stadium pulse is in there. Home field advantage will be a factor in the game coming up.
Well, they're spreading
Sam
it around.
Houston State there. That
Trees in the
video.
end zone.
See, that's the way the Madden game is. That if you get in trouble, the receiver lines start getting a little confusing, and
I like
impacts
that.
it.
I like that. It makes it more realistic.
It does. It does. See, the quarterback's got a question mark above his head.
Oh, now we're in Death Valley.
Oh,
Sun
Death
has
Valley.
set.
Yeah.
No.
You see how he's shaking? The screen shakes when it gets loud, too?
Like Georgia fans are so bored, nobody was standing.
Yeah. I can't wait till the game comes out. It will take up the rest of my summer. I'll play Dynasty mode. I don't know.
Will you play on the golf course?
No, I will not. I will not. It will replace some golf outings for me. The question becomes, what small school will I start with? Because I try to be realistic as a coach.
Birmingham Southern.
No, go Air Force.
I've done Air Force before.
Did they win a championship?
They did.
Did you fire Troy Calhoun before they won it?
Yeah, because Jim Dunaway took over as head coach.
Rockstar, he could get the actual Birmingham Southern program. He doesn't have to play it on.
You literally have to build it.
I've taken New Mexico State to a national championship game.
So it's realistic.
And
Yeah,
lost.
I read that article.
Yeah.
Well, your coaching was incredible that year.
Well, I took 3 or 4 years of recruiting, but I had one good recruiting.
You close
class.
your recruits on the course, don't you?
In New Mexico State, we gave them meth and the blue.
The blue.
Gave 'em a little meth.
Baby- the blue ice.
Blue. All right, trash is up next when we come back. The show being brought to you from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios in lovely Birmingham, Alabama. This is the next round.
Follow Sean Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 equal housing lender.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Back with you on the next round. If you missed it earlier, can we get the wide receiver graphic again? Jalen Waddle signed a new contract yesterday. Jalen Waddle with the Dolphins. 3-year, $84.75 million extension. He already was going to make $15.6 million in 2025. After that, the next 3 years, he'll make $28 million a year, becomes one of the highest paid NFL wide receivers. And these 4 Alabama receivers you see on the screen here have had great off seasons. They've all got new contracts. Devontae Smith, $25 million a year. I think Devontae's is over 3 years. 3 years, $75 million. Calvin Ridley now with the Titans. Ridley's 4 years, $92 million, $23 million a year. And Jerry Jeudy now with the Browns, $17.5 million a year. All those new contracts from those Alabama wide receivers this offseason. Alabama softball in action tonight as they take on Duke. Loser goes home in the double elimination game after both teams lost yesterday, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Those headlines brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club.
Yeah, Inverness Country Club. If you're looking for something to do this summer and you've thought about maybe joining a country club before, talking about a hidden gem out there, it is Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that fit everyone. The social membership, including that resort-style pool complex and full-service cabana and bar. The golf membership, beautiful course. They're currently expanding the driving range. You guys played it a little over a month ago. Do you travel for work or pleasure? Ask about the Heritage Plus option, where you have access to courses at 37 other clubs around the country. Inverness Country Club, great place to meet others in the community. Maybe you've relocated, maybe you've retired. Inverness, great place to network, and childcare, such a plus. If you want to drop the kid and have dinner right there on site, you want to drop the kid, go play a round of golf with your wife, you can do that at Inverness Country Club. For more information and to take a tour of this beautiful course, call Erin today. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608, or online at iccalabama.com.
Before we get to trash, I asked Brown to pull up the Heisman odds. And I want to ask you guys quickly, is there a quarterback that can come out of nowhere to win the Heisman Trophy this year?
Yeah, I got one for you.
And if it's going to be a player to win the Heisman out of nowhere, not one of your favorites, it likely would be a quarterback that has a good season. I've got one in mind, Brown, but I'd love to hear yours first.
Well, when you say out of nowhere, look, we're all going to have heard of these guys, but the general public may not. And I think Lance is high on this guy.
Yep.
He's 20-1, 22-1, 25-1, depending on where you look. Is Cam Ward at Miami? Was that who you thought I was going to say?
Yep. Cam Ward is my guy. I think another one, Dylan Gabriel at Oregon.
Yeah. What's Dylan's odds? Is he on the board?
He is on the board. You have to give me a second. He's 8-1, 10-1, 11-1, depending on where you look for him.
Yeah. If you want to take a long shot, Nico.
Well, I was looking at him, Lance. He's 15, 16, 11-1, depending, as Fuhrman says.
Short odds for a guy that's played one game.
He's never taken a meaningful snap. It was a bowl game.
Nico Emilieva.
Very nice.
Something like that at Tennessee there.
I mean, he's got the same odds at FanDuel as Jalen Milroe and Jackson Dart.
Give me Riley Leonard.
I was looking at him, too.
That was my guy.
20-1, 25-1, depending on which shop you're in.
20-1 or 25-1. Because if Notre Dame is a playoff team, he could have that type of thing that could get him the Heisman Trophy.
Man, I got some cool nuggets from players and their parents at that On3 event, but all the parents are high on Marcus Freeman. They love him.
They love him at Notre Dame.
I don't know how deep you have to go to get past the quarterbacks. Travis Hunter, I think, is your first positional player, unless I'm
Goose brings up Cam Rising. Big Cam Rising
Cam
fan.
Rising, 50-1.
That's worth taking a flyer.
That's the same thing Travis Hunter is, 50-1, 65-1. I think Travis Hunter, unless I'm missing one here, Travis Hunter is your first positional player to have odds. Everything else is quarterbacks.
And his intrigue, because he plays both ways, is enough. He has the kind of game that could be a non-quarterback to win it, right? The non-quarterbacks that have won it before you had the three Alabama players do it. You had people that returned kicks, did some special teams, or were slash guys, did a lot of other things.
Like Luther Burden III is one of those guys that can do so many different things for Missouri's offense. And if Missouri replicates what they did last year,
50-1.
We used to say you had to be in the conversation to win a championship, now to win a Heisman. I think if you get to a college football playoff with a program like Missouri and you put up massive numbers, I think Burden is one of those guys.
Yeah. So closer and closer to the college football season. Earlier today, Rett Lashlee was on the show, head coach of SMU. One of my favorite coaches interviews of all time.
He's
love
good.
Love a little Rett Lashlee. You can hear what he says about his SMU program. His memory of walking off the field after the 2013 national championship loss when he was the OC at Auburn against Florida State, and a lot more wherever you get our podcast, Spotify and Apple Podcast, and also on our YouTube channel forever, Rett Lashlee there. He was part of our 40 and 40 countdown, number 29, SMU today. We'll continue that countdown, one team every show all the way up to SEC Media Days, and we'll get into number 28 coming up on Monday.
Shot at Gus, too, I thought. I know we haven't pulled that back, but I thought it was a shot at Gus. I thought Rhett was going to be a little boring. I thought he was great.
Yeah, it was fantastic as we judge that. Go ahead, give him the golden ticket. He's moving on to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's the American Idol of coaches. It is time for Trash, though, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Hit it.
It's confirming the ground is now good to say. Oh, you've been joined by a beautiful lady. No, it's a man, actually, Derek.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Derek, you're blind. You're blind. I mean, you're...
Home buying season out there for Visit Mortgage Right, here to help. They are veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. One-stop shop, incredible guys. Call their 280 office right now, 205-900-7200. You can apply online. Go to their website at mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Won't give his name because he's friend of the show, but right box there on TV too, to pay or not.
I thought that when I walked back in from the bathroom because he's changed his hairstyle, I think. And it's
toupee for me.
I don't know. I don't know if you'd go that sloppy with the toupee. I think it's a little too sloppy.
If it grows, and I watched this movie again this past weekend, No Country for Old Men, if you grew it out a little longer, Antoine Chigurh, yeah.
Yep. You're right. Got a little Anton Chigurh in him. That is not a compliment.
We had one of our listeners send this to us. This is awesome. Michigan man with a suspended driver's license joined a digital court hearing Zoom about his case from behind the wheel while he was driving.
I've seen the video. I saw it on TikTok, and the judge says, excuse me, are you driving? He goes, yes, sir. I had to get my doctor's appointment.
Unbelievable. Corey Harris did not physically appear in court for his hearing on May 15th. Instead, he dialed into the Zoom call while he was driving. According to the video of the hearing posted on the YouTube page of Washtenaw County Judge Cedric Simpson. Simpson asked Harris whether he was driving when he joined the hearing. He told Simpson that he was pulling into a parking spot, his doctor's office, and would be ready for the hearing in, quote, 1 second. After a brief pause and Simpson confirming Harris was stationary, the attorney representing Harris, Natalie Pate, who was in court that day, asked for an adjournment for 2 to 4 weeks.
I'm going to need to get with my client.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he was upfront about it, too. The judge was looking at him like, you know what you're doing here, don't you? Yeah, the judge was so confused by it.
I'll never forget the coach that was just like, what in the hell are you doing, Jimbo Fisher, when Jameis dressed against Clemson?
Oh, yeah.
You think this attorney was doing that about our client?
What are you doing?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, Scott's got video of it. I mean, he's clearly driving, and the judge is like, what is... The judge is like, is this real?
Okay, I've got Offbeat holidays in June.
Oh, Jim loves these.
I do. I love these every time. Can't wait for June.
Wednesday, June 5th. Brown, I'm going to say you're not going to partake. It's National Veggie Burger Day.
Yeah, hard pass on that one.
Should not even be on the list.
I agree completely. Who made this day up?
That sauce looks good on the bottom.
It's like a terrible
I don't like that kind of sauce.
You don't?
It's like a
Oh, I
comeback
do.
sauce.
Yeah, comeback.
I don't want
smash
that on my
sauce.
burger.
Oh yeah. Mayonnaise.
No,
based.
I do like the sauce.
Yeah.
The sauce is the best part of it. That pickle and the sauce look good.
I'm like Rockstar. I like mine with lettuce and tomato.
Well, why do you put lettuce and tomato on a veg?
57 and
No,
six.
everything looks good except the patty.
No, the patty is the worst part, no doubt. But
Because there's no meat in it, guys.
I know.
No, I would just sling that patty out and I could eat that like
It looks like a burnt pineapple.
It really does.
I don't
Looks
want.
awful.
I don't want toasted bun either. I don't like toasted bun.
Thursday.
You don't?
I do
like.
not.
I like that.
Yeah, I like toasted butter.
Buttered
I
and
can go either
toasted.
way.
Do you never like put some butter on them? Just put them on the grill for just a second. Let them get a little. I like that.
I don't like them toasted.
So this, looking at that, because that looks so bad, everything else looks good. I think I might do the smash burgers tonight, but I'm going to do them with onions. I haven't done them with onions.
Do you know
yet.
what I
Onions
think?
in them?
Yeah, like you go on and you cut the onion up, and when you do the press, you press the onions into them.
Yeah, that sounds a lot to me like what we used to call hamburger steak.
Lance does not like that. Chopped sirloin. No, thank you. He said earlier.
I don't know. I mean, I'm putting it on a bun, so it's a burger.
Hey, can I say that I think one of the biggest waste of times is sesame seeds on a bun? What does that do for a bun? Absolutely nothing.
It does nothing.
Aesthetics.
I mean, you got diverticulitis. You got a problem with that.
That is correct. Yes, you do. You got to avoid those.
You got sesame seeds? I got a problem with that.
Oh, you must have diverticulitis.
Thursday, June 6th. Tell me where one is. National Drive-In Movie Day.
Do we have them out at the
I don't think we have
outlets anymore?
Is that one still good in Leeds? I think. Yeah, at the outlets.
The screens are still up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still functioning. Oh, Tyler gives it down. Yes.
Oh
Okay.
wow! So
Yeah.
what's playing out there? I need to look this up.
I'll look it up
That'd
right
be
now.
something different to do, right? That is Thursday, June 6th. Friday, June 7th, National Donut Day. I
do
like
like
donuts,
donuts,
but I can't eat just one, so it becomes a problem.
I can't remember the name of the place now, but when I was in Nashville with Little T at the SEC basketball tournament, right next to my hotel was a fantastic one. Really unique layered donuts.
You know, the great thing about donuts in the past is they were really cheap, much like the cookies you were talking about. Donuts have gotten a little expensive.
That's right, because they're not just, the kind we used to sell, Krispy Kremes.
Oh, yeah, they have like Haagen-Dazs chocolate on. Like, are you kidding me?
Uh-oh,
Lance,
Friday, June
I was going to give you your
14th.
choices at the
Go ahead.
drive-in.
Go
Your
ahead.
choices at the drive-in this weekend are the Fall Guy.
No thanks.
I hear that's very good. The Fall Guy is good.
Who is in it?
Oh, Tyler goes.
Ryan Gosling
There's
and
no way
Emily
it's
Blunt.
good.
I heard the last 30 minutes is everything you want in an action movie, Tyler. Was I told incorrect?
If
Who told you that? Adam Sandler?
If is on screen too.
I want to see If right now. Have you seen If, Tyler?
Yeah.
I guarantee
I
that's
really liked it.
Ryan
liked If?
Reynolds just ripping people off on jokes.
On If.
Well, it's the guy from The Office produced it and
John
directed
Krasinski.
it. Yeah. And, his daughter had a big input in it. And I see in the commercials on television during my sporting events that what a great director-producer he is because he has the mind and the heart of a child while producing
do
this.
like him. I don't like Ryan Reynolds.
Screen 3, you got Garfield on the early.
Give me Furiosa.
And Kung Fu Panda on the late.
Kung Fu Panda 4 was really solid, honestly.
Okay, Kung Fu Panda 4 is there. Screen 4, your 8:30 showing over the weekend, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
They do 2 of these a year.
Yeah, Luganville said it's awesome.
And
It's not that
then
great.
11:10 p.m. Furiosa.
Oh.
I like
late night.
Late night, though.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to drive me home.
I do.
You do.
But there is a betting favorite on
So
that.
Friday,
She looked fabulous in that green dress the other day.
June 14th, National Bourbon Day. Talked to our friend Aaron Suttles yesterday, and we're planning some new stuff for Bam and Bourbon this year. We might have to do a special show.
Oh, I've
coming
got
up.
4 of those.
Yeah, what's your best one right there,
Yeah.
Lance? Give me your best one.
I would go. So I've never had the E.H. Taylor. The Weller's really good. I love Eagle Rare.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I've never had Noah's Mill. I've had everything else besides the Taylor and the Noah's Mill.
I can't remember the guy who gave me that bourbon. I still have a bunch of that bourbon. He had an Eagle Rare in there, the Wellers, a Blanton was in there.
People go crazy over that Blanton, so you don't have that as
No,
high.
Bland's good,
Yeah.
really good. Hey, you want to guess which one I had first?
You said you didn't have the Taylor.
First one you ever had was
Wild
the Wild
Turkey.
Turkey.
Oh, yeah, the
right in the
chicken,
middle.
the rare breed.
Yeah.
June 21st, Dunaway, you're going to love it, National Selfie Day.
Oh, look, and there's a picture of me.
Yeah.
How did you have that ready to roll?
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We have patterns.
We did not collaborate on that.
We have patterns. We all go through.
I am absolutely starving right now, and I could crush that hot dog.
Where
Was it
are you
good?
done away with that hot
It
dog?
was. That's the University of Montevallo, Kermit Johnson Field. That's where I used to roam for my my one semester on the baseball
Your
team.
face, you look like somebody's violating your ass.
Are you on the...
I'm in the suite out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the the deck. They have deck seating in several areas out there. In the deck seating, and they have grills in every deck seating. I was able to grill a hot dog and throw some kraut and onions.
I know
and
it's
mustard
sacrilegious.
on there.
Do you ever go ketchup on your hot dog?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I do too.
That's sacrilegious?
A lot of people, boy, that is. You
I
go
like
to Chicago,
ketchup
you
on
put ketchup on a hot dog, people get pissed.
Yeah, Chicago dog's a bit overrated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'll eat it now and then.
It's hard to eat.
Bit overrated. A lot of stuff on there.
But I would tell you that I was at Bent Brook recently, and they had a sausage dog.
Oh, so good.
With kraut and onion on it and mustard, and I got them to throw. Wait for it, Rockstar. Little Heinz 57.
That's good. Yeah.
French fried
You're
potatoes.
dogging out
kosher pickles.
the smash sauce, and you're putting Heinz 57 on a hot dog.
What smash sauce?
No, on that burger.
Yeah, this just tastes so much like chicken for me. That's like a chicken thing.
I tell you what, I would go 100 just mustard and kraut before I'd ever go one Chicago dog.
I think I would too. You know, you guys bolted from the On3 to go to the pharmacy. I stayed and I ate there. It was really good food. They had a fry bar with all these different sauces, like fresh, like
interesting. I
really,
like that
really
idea.
good fries.
Yeah.
But they had the hot dog, and right next to the hot dog, when you would get it out and get the bun, there was a thing of queso, and I couldn't decide whether or not to put the queso on the dog. I didn't do it.
See, here's my problem: is Jennifer hates the smell of kraut.
I don't love it.
That's a Jennifer problem.
I know. Well, I mean, she still gets it when we get hot dogs. I love kraut. Yeah.
I don't love it. I missed that hat, by the way. That was a Forster design hat.
And I think we got them down in the closet.
I think we still sell them, but mine got, I wore it one time playing golf, so it got sweaty. So I washed it and dried it.
And it soured?
It came out wrinkled, and I can't get the wrinkles out. I wore it one day up here, or wore it one day somewhere. I think it was
I've messed 2 next round hats up doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know the best way to wash. Is it dishwasher and you put it like in a pillowcase?
That's what I've heard. Dishwasher's the way to go on most hats.
Our friend.
And you got to go top rack too.
Our friend Lance Cormier says he gets his out with a pressure washer on the sidewalk of his house, driveway.
Seems like that tear the ass out of your hat.
Yeah, maybe I misheard him.
Thursday, June 27th, National Sunglasses Day.
I wear them all the time.
Those are not big.
Those are not good looking.
I like that look, right? She's hot. Well, 75% of her face is covered.
Could be a robot.
Okay. Do we have time for these others?
We've got all the time in the world. Well, Rockstar's Flora-Bama Lounge coming up on the other side.
Albuquerque police have arrested a man for climbing up a Transformer statue downtown and taking his clothes off.
Yeah, as one does.
Why do they have a statue of Bumblebee downtown?
A lot of questions here.
Yep.
Why don't we?
Yeah, and why is this guy going to take his clothes off?
So
because he's transforming, Brown.
Okay, good
He can't transform into what he wants to be with his clothes on.
According to Esteban Duran, a SunWest Silver Company employee, quote, I looked at the video footage. It turns out he walked over to the Transformer fully clothed and didn't start disrobing until he was at the top. Albuquerque community safety officers tried to help him down, but when police had to get involved, he did the same thing hours later.
Joe, help him down. Just grab him by the handle.
The name of the man, Hector Malero. First incident happened 5:45 a.m. Monday morning. Boy, he's an early riser. ACS called to the scene after multiple people called 911.
Yes.
They said, quote, the most concerning part was it doesn't matter if he was clothed or unclothed, really. Safety is a factor because the height of one he climbed is probably a good 20 feet. He could have fallen. He could have slipped. He could have hurt himself pretty seriously.
Yeah, watch while this transforms.
It's another penile joke.
Yes.
Almost half of Gen Z Americans feel like they're, quote, living a double life between their online and offline selves, according to a new research survey.
Sister.
2,000 American respondents split evenly by generation found that 46% of Gen Z respondents feel the duality, where their personality online vastly differs from how they present themselves in the real world. They're not the only ones. This feeling was shared by 27% of respondents across generations, 38% of millennials experiencing this, as well as 18% of Gen X and 8% of the baby boomers. Survey highlighted that 53% of Gen Z respondents said it's easier to express themselves online rather than offline. I think that's a problem. Like, you just don't know how to communicate anymore.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's the way it is, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Instagram's primarily fake. I think most people are just completely
Well, you're not going to take a picture. This is a picture of my couch. You got to have this to brag in some sort.
Exactly,
of what I'm eating, where I'm
That's
staying.
really why I hate Instagram.
You go to my Instagram, and 100%, I'm not a very photogenic person, but I don't have an ugly photo there.
No, I'm not saying they're ugly. I'm just saying
as good as I can look,
Yeah.
right? I don't post anything that I don't look good in.
Yeah.
But do you do filters?
I don't do filters, but there were I probably had probably 26 pictures given to me from the night I hosted the Tide Tour thing.
Yeah.
And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 pictures of me from that.
See,
those are the only 4 good ones. I would have posted 62 of them if they'd all been good of Jim.
The only thing I like about Instagram is I get some really good Vizsla videos. I get some disaster videos, but I like it as a family album. Like, I don't take a lot of pictures, but if I take a picture of something significant, I'll post it and I've got it forever.
Okay, now what if you lose that Instagram account?
That's a problem.
That's
Then
a
I
problem.
am completely effed.
Yeah, we need to get back to. We need to first of all buy into places that print
Fox Photo.
Fox Photo. We need to start a Fox Photo here and get everybody back to printing pictures. I mean,
what you going to do with
so
those?
there's
You
only
put those in a book and you never look at the book.
There's only
You do
one
look in the
place
book.
in
No, you
America.
don't.
I think there's a movie called Kodachrome with Ed Harris, and I think Jason Sudeikis is in it. And I almost watched it the other night, but it's this photographer, and I think it's based on a true story. And he's dying, and they take him to the last place that actually processes film. So I think there is one place in America that actually does that. I think that's it.
When's the last time you looked at a photo book?
I think he's talking about you can put it in frames on your desk, put it on the wall.
Well, you can still do that.
I know, like most people, like I'm just going to keep it on my phone.
That's
and
right.
Then, like,
Like
the
I wanted
majority
to
of us
go
keep it
back
on the phone.
I should have had it ready. The Rett Lashlee picture of him walking off the field. I wanted to, maybe we'll send it to him later on. I don't know if he has a picture of that heartbreaking moment after
I'm
the
sure
Auburn
that's
game.
what he wants. Yeah, that's really.
Well, the kids were
Rhett, turn
little.
around, let me kick you in the balls again.
Scaring the
You
kids
remember
off.
when you
They're
were
little.
leaving this funeral? God, you looked upset.
Finally, a man was arrested after police in Satellite Beach say 3 of his kids were abandoned for hours on an island. One of the children's fathers, Leonard Nile, was supposed to be watching the kids on a Memorial Day camping trip. Father was arrested and charged with 3 counts of child neglect. According to the police report, 3 kids who were left without care were 9, 10, and 11 years old. Not only were they left, but they were stranded on the island surrounded by water before a Good Samaritan heard them screaming for help from a dock late on Saturday night. Now, according to the police report, officers responded. They arrested Leonard Nile. They called 911 saying he lost contact with the children. Responding officers say Nile was emotional, showing mood swings and even crying and yelling in reference to the missing kids. Nile told police he left the kids to get more equipment for the camping trip, but when he returned, he couldn't find them. The officer noted they could smell alcohol on him. The report also says the suspect admitted to smoking weed, snorting cocaine, and drinking beer before meeting the officer.
What a day.
I was getting more gear.
I'll tell you, 9, 10, and 11, the kids in Lord of the Flies did it.
Yeah. And Whitewater Summer.
I mean, those eyes right there, how scary does that guy look?
He looks like he's
You're
had a
going
rough
to take
day.
a picture of who?
Yeah. All right, that's Trash Today brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, Mortgage Right, best in the business. If you're looking to buy maybe your first home, your last home, these guys are there to help. Call their Birmingham number, Highway 280, 205-900-7200. Tell them the next round sent you. You can go online, mortgageright.com.
We go overtime with the Flora-Bama Lounge on the other side. Rockstar comes in here and sings us into another weekend.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Back with you on the next round. Flora-Bama brings you Rockstar's Lounge every Friday between March Madness and the start of college football season. Tell us about what's happening at Flora-Bama.
Fishing rodeo next weekend. The funnest fishing tournament coming up. Taylor Hicks coming back to the Bama June 15th, free show. Big Earl and the Sexual Biscuits tonight and tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m. Flora-Bama Radio. Big Earl's Dive Bar Cafe starts at noon. So check out the Flora-Bama Radio there. Big Earl, just one of the funniest guys out there.
Flora-Bama Radio is on my cart playing live every round of golf I play.
Steve Powers done an
He does a good job with it.
that.
Yep, it's really good.
Yep.
It puts you in a good mood.
Well, my guys, I'm always like, what kind of music you want to listen to? If you're assigned to my cart that day, and I've got this great speaker system, and they're like, I don't care. And I say, you like country? You like rock and roll? And
it's a mix of it all.
I like it all. That's it.
There you go.
Flora-Bama, it's a mix of everything.
Even Rockstar has been to the Flora-Bama with me years ago. It's hard to find somebody around here that's never been, but talking to our guest on Last Call yesterday, she's never been to the Flora-Bama.
Never been to the Flora-Bama. That needs to change. LT's interview with Kristen Saban out sometime next week. We'll give you a heads up when that drops. Rockstar in the Flora-Bama Lounge. What are you singing today, Rocky?
I want to do some music today. I had an idea. No, I haven't tried this. I love doing this. I had an idea yesterday. This is a guy that writes a lot of lyrics. I think I do a song by them once every year. Red Hot Chili Peppers. And there's a song that's called Can't Stop. It's a lot of lyrics. So I have kind of...
Have you slowed it down and amped it up?
I've slowed it down and amped it up, but I've kind of abbreviated it, and I'm kind of added a little something in the middle like I usually do. So we're going to try this. We may bail. You never know.
Oh, wow. I've never seen you bail on one.
Oh, wow. Apollo 13 version.
We're ready.
Of the Flora-Bama Lounge.
They couldn't bail.
Wow.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Drop top, he says he's gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant cousin to the reservation. Defunct the pistol that you paid for. This punk the feeling that you stayed for. In time I wanna be your best friend. Eastside love is living in the West End. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go write your message on the pavement. Burn so bright you won't read the wavement. The world I love, the tears I drop. Be a part of the wave, can't stop. Ever wondered if it's all for you? The world I love, the trains I hop. To be a part of the wave and stop. Tell me when you think it's time to. Wait a minute, I'm passing out. Win or lose, just like you. Far more shocking than anything I ever knew. How about you? 10 more reasons why I need somebody new, just like you. Far more shocking than anything I ever knew. Right on cue. Nights in white satin, never reaching the air. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed, these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Drop to be a part of the wave, can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you? The world I love, the trains I hop. To be a part of the wave, can't stop. Come and tell me when it's time to.
I put a little Moody Blues in there.
I noticed that. I love the mashups like that. I love when you do
so
that.
the mic sounded a little different. It sounded really good, but was there something you did differently?
I didn't do anything with the mic. I can't hear.
So Anthony Kiedis, though, love the Chili Peppers. I know you do, but you don't really like his lyrics, do you?
He's got, I mean, can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop top, he says I'm going to win big.
What's that mean?
Choose not a life of imitation, distant cousin to the reservation. Yeah. I mean, I admire him being he's probably, I think he's 60, 61 now, that he's singing this stuff like it takes your breath away to sing this.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
There's 5 verses to this song, and this is one of their hits, and she's like, he's got to play it every night. Like, I don't know how I know he's super fit, like guy exercises all the time, but again, I always mention it every year, read the book Scar Tissue, his autobiography, came out in probably 2003. Man has lived a life, sexually and drug-wise.
Yeah.
Druggily.
Scar Tissue is the book.
Yes.
That's Rockstar in the Flora-Bama Lounge today, brought to you by the great folks at Flora-Bama.
Yeah, and our friend Steve Powers wants to remind you, fishing rodeos coming up next weekend is the Fun Est Fishing Tournament. Taylor Hicks coming back June 15th. To the Flora-Bama free show there. Big Earl's Sexual Biscuits tonight and tomorrow night. And Big Earl's Dive Bar Cafe starts at noon today on Flora-Bama Radio. Dunaway's got it downloaded. Download it yourself. Stop in to the Flora-Bama and check it out all weekend long.
And that's our show today. We're back with you at 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget the Meltdown Friday edition, live at 2 o'clock Central time today. The guys, Melton and Lunsford and maybe Rockstar. Tyler's always in there. Never know who's going to stop by for a Friday fun show with the Meltdown at 2 o'clock. Check out Uncorked. Taylor's back from Europe. Hear about her European vacation. Taylor Corn's reaction to life and everything else going on in her head. Also, the Pennant Grace as the Braves get ready for the A's. They need a little athletics in their lives this weekend. Get that with Josh Ush, and our friend Emily Grace McWhorter, the Pennant Grace, and everything at Roll Tide Pods and War Damn Pods over at Disrupt the Media. Like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.